Howdy folks, welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign. I'm Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master for tonight and most nights. Joining me, I have my friends Matt, Dan, Alana, and Tina. Hannah's not with us tonight, but she will be returning next week. We'll see you then, Hannah. A couple of announcements before I get started. Oops, I just minimized everything. Oh wait, I have a printer. A couple of announcements before we get started. Last week, we had both Alana and Dan join us for the first time as Eleanor and Oakfeld, respectively. So welcome, guys. You will notice there are now animated buttons below everybody, so you should see not only the player name and Howdy Talon, but also the classes and levels of the characters. So that's super cool. We have an Instagram, @AlberonRPG. We use a lot of hand-drawn maps, 3D terrain, painted miniatures. You can't really see them on our battle cam, as fancy as it is, but you can see those on Instagram, @AlberonRPG. Next, thank you very much if you joined us this week for Mosaic Team 5 last night. If you did not, you can catch it on YouTube starting tomorrow at 6 p.m. This session of Adventures in Alberon is our 100th session, and that will be up on YouTube tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to see more of Mosaic Team 5, that is Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a Space Western Starfinder campaign. And then finally, we have Sirenscape, a digital tool set that you can use to inject sound into your life or games or strange slumber parties with goblin sounds that are needed for some reason. Sirenscape is a great digital tool set. Check it out. And with that, I can bring us into our recap. So, adventurers who do not have a party name at the moment.
That's probably a good thing.
Well, you know. Akka, elf artificer. Shay, human monk. Alana, human swashbuckler. Oakfeld, human-ish, ranger-ish. You found yourselves suddenly within the courtyard of Wharton's lab. This cloud giant's botany laboratory floating high above the clouds in the ruins of the cloud giant city of Yorn. This massive ficus tree, now animated, sized for a giant, thrashed around like the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter, smashing into things, but all of you relatively dexterous or able to be pushed from behind by another member of your party. You're able to escape through the courtyard and out onto the deck where you met a strange sight. Having left almost a week ago, though none of you aware of that time passage, the ship that Gamble was working on had been completed. Can bring up our little close-up camera here. I don't actually know if it works, that's the one we didn't test, but maybe you see a ship. Maybe
shit.
You don't.
No
yeah,
shit.
you'll be able to see it on the Twitch.
Oh,
in just a second.
there's a ship.
There's a ship. We love to see that.
There's the delay, and then there's the ship. Oh,
There you go.
someone died.
So, we have a ship. Flying ship built from incredibly durable metal, or wood and metal, from a time long past, using technology and techniques that are no longer known. Eleanor, you were at the helm of this craft, and you took it in for a graceful landing. Not necessarily alongside or on, but within the dock. After the spicy landing, you managed to retreat, all of you, to the Floatstone Fortress. You reported back to Gamble, Master Gamble being the halfling, Shay, an uncle to you, to the rest of you, in ways a patron, definitely has helped your party out a lot. Less of a fan of Akka than some, which is impressive.
Is tough.
Yeah. But
I thought we were hitting it off, too.
you checked in with Gamble. You let him know of what happened. He informed you of the passage of time, and then asked Eleanor to accompany the group in order to pilot this Skyship. Entirely new technology to this world, something that nobody else possesses at this time. Eleanor, you have the most experience with the ship out of anybody currently alive. You've crashed it twice. So that is something that's happening. Gamble also told you Ninth Path monks had raided the library, but were repelled, maybe 2 days prior to your arrival back in Yorn. Akka, you contacted the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, and you found through Mr. Gift, the leader of this group, that the undead had begun to surge towards Dungannon more regularly. You learn that Drea, the dragonborn artificer that you had learned your craft from, had completed something, her project, in spite of the fact that you accomplished none of the shopping list that she gave you.
There's a lot on my plate, you
Yeah,
know?
no, I know. You flew back to Dungannon, but stopped to defend a ridge with the Dark Meadow Militia, a group of 4 or 5 soldiers, hopelessly outnumbered against a swarm of undead creatures, skeletons, zombies, shambling across the half-frozen meadowlands. You made your stand, building up to this massive fight, and then Akka, you flew down the side of the cliff and cast Lightning Bolt, skewering 13 undead and
Pretty awesome.
preemptively ending the encounter for all intents and purposes. That was pretty cool. 364 damage. That's dope. So, you did this. The rest of you kind of all prepared to fight, accomplished what you could. Shay, again, kind of hitting and fading from the top of an archway. Almost impossible to strike back, especially for these lumbering undead. The leader of this group, Brother Arkwynth, who has taken lead of the Dark Meadow Militia, at least at this checkpoint, offered some kind of aid should you return to Dark Meadow and ask them to send reinforcements. You flew to Dark Meadow, stopped in for all of maybe 10 minutes. Both Akka and I think it was Brenna sprinting to the armory, doing like that, I can't remember what it's called, but you remember when we were kids, there was the Nickelodeon, like you could win something where you take a shopping cart
the shopping
and
spree.
run through Toys R Us.
Supermarket sweep?
Yeah. Oh, that too. Yeah, you guys basically did that at the armory, just swiping things that you
You've
could.
got 10 minutes, go!
Yeah, basically. You did manage to find a beautiful, enchanted sort of pauldron set, almost like a mantle. Goes around the shoulders, plates of glass-like material that form armor, definitely from across the Emerald Expanse and from Everest, the homeland of the elves. You grabbed what you could and literally ran back to the ship, boarding and departing for Dungannon. You decided to land at a more suitable location, and after taking a few passes, decided that a pond on the upper part of Sinoso was a perfect spot to do so. You took the craft in for a landing, splashing down with many onlookers now kind of converging around this place. And that's where we're going to start for today. Give me just one moment.
We just landed, right?
Yes.
Totally inconspicuous and not at all going to be a problem.
Not right in the middle of like a pond, right? In
No.
the center of...
In the park.
In a pond in a park.
Yeah. In a pond, in
That's
a
fine.
park, on a log.
So your craft, having come into this pond now, you feel it shake side to side as it stabilizes and finds its natural buoyancy. This is deep enough, luckily, to house a craft. Not that anybody checked.
I mean, it can land on the ground, kind of, right?
Yeah. This pond,
A little bit of water.
it shouldn't touch the ground when you land it. It just has every time that you've landed it.
All right, listen.
So,
Which is a testament to the architectural phenomenon that
listen,
it is.
you need to do stress tests on new vehicles.
Yeah.
And that's all you were doing is testing it
Yeah,
out.
we're just a bunch of crash test dummies.
Yeah, no, and you know what? It's good. It's safety first.
Yeah.
So, the first time that you crashed it, of course, was 3,000 miles up amongst the clouds. But, you know,
Worked out.
We all live.
right, exactly. And that's enough time to fall that you can do
And
something.
nobody died, which is an improvement from the first time.
That's true. Yeah, right. Nobody got ejected out and then across like a field. So, you know, in some ways an improvement. But as this craft comes to a stop, this entire pond, maybe like 30 feet wide at its widest point, very clear water, not a whole lot of life within it. It's very clean water, almost too much so. Clearly this is like kept so that bugs do not end up like growing in here. There isn't like a whole lot of life. There is grass, neatly trimmed, a little bit yellow because of the season. But probably 2-3 dozen people now kind of crowded around the banks. You can kind of hear them from where you are. And as the water gently laps up on the ship, what would you all like to do? It's about 2:30 in the afternoon.
many guards we've attracted the attention of?
Sure. You see amongst the crowd, as you look off to the north, with a couple buildings sort of backlighting it, you see breaking up the sun, there are 2 members of the Dungannon Navy. They wear black leather uniforms. One of them has a little bit more of a complex gold pattern on the sleeve, and you recognize that as a station of higher rank. But just 2 so far.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're not in like panic mode yet of not being rushed.
No.
Basically. Okay, great. So we should probably handle this. Any conspicuous? We're really obvious here, guys. I'm hoping you guys have a decent reputation around here.
Somewhat.
Nothing bad yet.
I've never been here, but I am excited to see the people.
I will remain with the ship to keep an eye on it, since this is just a quick stop.
Yeah, I gotta do a couple laps first, I think. Don't want to. I'm gonna like start to get a little closer to the edge.
Okay, so you start to walk a little bit closer to the edge of the craft, and
See.
suddenly, from behind, coming up the little hatch, you see the blue, kind of slimy figure of Glub, wearing his sweater,
Oh, no.
his big gloves. He pokes his hat and goes, "Oh, hi, can I come?"
Where are we taking him?
He was going with Fensker. But I don't know that that's gonna happen now.
I've been told many things. I was a pirate last week.
So, all right, quick stop at the docks. Is that the best place for?
The docks near the other side of town,
Yeah.
where we could have landed if we needed to bring someone there. Okay, I'm gonna.
He looks around, kind of seeing all the people, and he goes, "Boy, that's a lot of people. If I was landing a ship, I would have just landed it in the ocean and sailed in."
Oh, thank you.
You know, Glub, sometimes you have to put on a show, and I gotta see, have the Navy officers kind of come closer at this point, or are they just
They
kinda,
can't, so they're kind of like waiting on the shore.
Okay.
I'm going to say at this point you see like a third one arrive.
Okay.
You know, there's a good number of people here. This is a
Um,
flying ship.
I'm looking to see, is the officer who was in charge at the catacombs coming around at all?
Like a perception check.
Like, is he one of the Navy officers who's starting to approach? Natural 20!
Natural 20.
Ooh.
You look out and you don't see them. You see these individuals, the one that is in charge, a little darker skin. Yeah. No.
Do you guys have a name or a connection I can throw out there so we're not immediately arrested?
Don't really want to put this one down on.
So
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
turn towards the guards and be like, "Hail! Apologies for the sudden landing, but we are testing out some new technology, and we ran into a slight problem. We meant to land towards the docks, and we are currently, new technology, little blips. We're not trying to cause any scenes."
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, persuasion is decent. 26.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll ask.
You can see from the other one, they kind of look at each other. A little bit of a wave of conversation goes around as you have to yell this out. But somebody kind of turns, the leader, this guy, darker skin. He has like relatively short, kind of curly hair, but then this beard that comes out and then has like this long mustache and also kind of a beard, swirls up a little bit. But he calls across, "You're not undead, and that's good. We really got to talk to you about your ship.
Not surprised.
I don't even know what docking fees to charge. Could you come ashore?"
shore can.
Okay.
Okay,
This
will
is bad.
our-
This is pretty bad. Oh boy.
Will our disembarkment plank reach?
No, certainly not. It's the disembarkment plate that you have is about 15 feet long. It is long. It's like a 30-foot, to shore. So what do you guys want to do?
Okay. Ooh. I don't want to take the fall for this.
It doesn't take any falls for anything. Right now we're just trying not to get arrested.
I know.
Should I go talk to them?
I think that's not
So
the Shay, with all due respect.
what is my
Things are
average,
different
What's the average jump?
than up in the north.
Like if I want to say leap from the disembarkment plank to the shore.
Sure. That's your strength score time, your strength modifier other times.
Like, is that a plausible action or?
Yeah, I mean, you could get a running start, and theoretically, you could definitely give it a try. So if you're gonna jump, you are doing like a. God, where is it? So that is your strength score. As long as you moved at least 10 feet, it is a number of feet up to your strength score. So
Okay.
what is your strength score?
My total score is 12.
So, I mean, you could jump 12 feet. The thing is like 15 feet long. Together, you're a couple feet short, but a good roll, who knows?
But how high up?
Huh?
How high up? Because then
Well, I'm gonna.
you get more distance if you're going 12 feet across, but also going like 10 to 20 feet down. Gonna move in a parabolic arc.
Some hypotenuse.
So right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
as
that's
this crowd is
the
like gathered,
hypotenuse.
you see, like, they all see you kind of like holding a ladder and like wiggling it around, and then they see Eleanor just kind of like gesturing at it and then kind of like motioning to like level it up. The person on the shore is gonna go, "Could you guys just bring your ship around to the docks?"
Yeah, we totally can.
Can
do
we?
We totally can.
Oh,
Do you have a particular dock or just wherever's open?
Wherever's open is fine. Maybe just not a pond in the middle of the city.
Yeah,
Please.
like I said, we had a bit of a technical issue. My apologies.
Not to worry.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to pilot the dock. Do you
Well,
need to get off here right now?
I think maybe I'll get off here and
Do you mind
I'll just
if one
meet
of
you at the
us
docks.
disembarks and that while I bring this around?
just don't even. I'm gonna.
From the shore, they just go
Go to the
not
other-
really. Just if you could move the ship sometime soon, it's creating a bit of a stir.
I see.
And you can see like there are like carts that are kind of getting backed up now. Like it is causing a bit
gonna-
of traffic
Safely
jam.
disembark.
Yeah, I'm scooping up Glub without touching him safely as much as I can. Casting invisibility on both of us.
Okay.
And flying off the back of the ship.
Okay. You kind of crouch
Like-
down.
And I'm
getting
like,
low.
I'll meet you at the docks in like a couple hours.
Okay.
And then you take off. You and Invisible Club, kind of drifting over the water. You make your way over across the crowd of bystanders and across this little bit of dried grass, over the streets. And then a block beyond, you can kind of land. No foot traffic there, as it is all kind of coagulated around the ship. And if you want, you can make your way to the Touffet Museum and the Dungannon Antiquities Collective below, or wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think straight to the collective
Yeah,
and
okay.
then make my way to the docks. There's gotta go quickly, right?
Sure.
I'm
Okay.
moving.
Pilot with the winds to the docks.
Make a check. And remember, reliable talent.
Yes. Oh, there we go. That's a good roll. That's a 19.
19.
As we're about to leave,
Sure.
I'm going to kind of do like a mid-transformation and then stop myself to just transform a little baby's breaths. You know,
Okay.
the little small wedding flower that people have a lot.
Okay.
And I'm just going to throw them out into the crowd.
Okay. So as you pull away, what was your roll for that?
19.
19? Great. Okay. So as you pull away, let me find some appropriate music. All my music is like forlorn. Why?
Probably because like all the bad stuff that keeps happening.
Like as we're flying away, I'm just kind of like listen.
Zombies.
So it's just Oakfeld, Shay, and Brenna on deck now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how much these docking fees are going to be, but we might need to split that a little bit. I have some money, but I don't know how much is it going to be.
No idea.
Let me check my pockets for, and all I pull out is just flowers and acorns and I think like a button maybe.
Noted. This is going to be expensive.
You take the ship, and as you pull it away, Oakfeld throws these tiny little strings of blossoms, really, if they're the way that I remember them.
Yeah.
They kind of just fly out over people. You hear a couple just, whoa, and just already people kind of like running to try to keep pace with the ship, especially you see like a small crowd of children who come with you. But they kind of are overswept by this shadow as you take up and over the rooftops. You see passing below you a beautiful museum. You can see off in the distance a tower with many green glass windows. You fly over top this very cultured section that is Upper Sonoso. You can see off to your left Castle Koch, this iconic sort of castle that was once the seat of the monarchy prior to Dungannon rising up against their king. Eventually, you make your way without issue over to the edge, and then kind of curving around, you're able to gracefully loop and then gently this time touch down into the water. There's this moment where you're both flying and floating, and you kind of bob a little bit heavier, and then you feel like it's as if the water just accepts the craft, and it just becomes very, very familiar to you. You pull up to this dock. There are 5 members of the Dungannon Navy here, definitely word traveling. But you can see one of them kind of definitely the higher rank. You can see 2 sleeves, like a little bit of gold on them, 3 bands on either side. And they are the first to kind of approach. They look kind of trying to see, and seeing you steer the ship, they're going to say, Captain,
Yes.
a word, please.
Of course.
Thank you. Right this way, and the rest of you, if you wouldn't mind just staying aboard. This will be just a moment. Calculating fees and that sort of thing. And they kind of walk off a little bit if you step out onto the docks, maybe like 10, 15 feet away, just out of earshot, basically. The other 4 kind of like make a screen, kind of, definitely keeping you there. And you sense they're not like holding weapons, but they're definitely like a little on edge. That's an unusual thing that happened to them. So, he turns to you. So, apparently there's been some excitement in Upper Sonoso. In general, we try to keep our ships at the docks. With the other ships, they get lonely, you see. So, typically docking fees here would be 2 silver a day.
Okay.
There is a manner of the commercial interruption that occurred today as a result of your landing. So, this will be just 5 gold pieces and then 2 silver pieces a day after that, if you do intend to stay longer. Is this a long-term docking, or?
No. We had just some quick business here. But what we will do is I'm going to take out 10 gold and give it to them and be like, this is for the fees, and also as my sincerest apology as Captain Eleanor Windwright. And I'm going to see if there's any recognition
Okay.
in their face.
You can see suddenly they just go, Windwright, you say?
Correct.
Of the Windwrights.
Correct. You see, we are...
He turns and looks at the ship. Fascinating. So this must be some new trade venture for the family.
Yes. You see, as you may know, sailing and doing trading, sometimes you need a little bit of extra to kind of bring in the new clients. So we've been putting money aside to test out some new technology. And this is, and she's gonna kind of like give like grand sweeping gestures towards the ship to be like, yes, this is totally our ship.
Make a deception check.
Mhm. Dang it. Actually, that's a good question.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
Right.
Reliable talent. though,
Reliable
right?
talent.
Still
How
a
does that
natural
work?
1.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter that much. It's not, it's not like combat natural 1.
Yeah.
For our games, natural ones in combat, especially natural ones, natural 20s combat, especially.
Yeah.
In ability checks, it's not catastrophic typically. However, he is going to. It's for all intents and purposes, you could treat it as your reliable talent. That's fine.
Okay. So in total, it would be like 25.
25, nice. Okay.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, swashbucklers.
I put my points in one place.
Fascinating. Well, we are happy to have you and your family's business, of course. You brought a great amount of gold into the port. And what is this ship's name, just for the log?
Oh yes, of course. The Winds of Change.
The Winds of Change. Very well. And of course, I'll send this off to the family to make sure that they're aware of your arrival.
Ah yes.
Will there be anything else, Miss Windright?
At the moment, no. Like I said, we were just here on very short term. We're fine with just chilling out on the docks for now until we kind of wrap up our business.
Very well. He takes the money, puts it in this little, almost like it's like a leather belt. That would be a utility pouch, but it's much lamer because it's just for different coins. But he just kind of snaps that
Like
shut.
the quarter thing.
Yeah, very much like that. It's just leather pouches, and they're sized for each coin. You could see, like, as he opens it up, there's like a larger one for the golden double dragons of Sarentil. There's like another one that actually uses Dungannon's currency.
They're like a miscellaneous for all of the out of continent
perception
currency.
check.
I mean, I'm not there.
Oh, very fun.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh,
As I'm
I
walking up.
apologize. Is there a courier I could nearby?
That's a great question. Da-da-da. There are two post offices here in Dungannon. So there's the lower one, which can get you messages pretty much anywhere within the city. And then there is a more expensive option anywhere within Dungannon's territory. So Dark Meadow as far as. To whom are you trying to send a message?
Oh, I told my family I would write them myself as soon as I landed. So I just wanted to, I know you are sending a message as well. I just also would like to keep my promise.
Of course. Just 1 second. I have to go consult the city guide real quick. And it takes a while to load because it's a lot of history. Shopping, holidays, important families, religions, organizations. Yeah. Okay. So it is controlled by the Bree Wompkins family, it looks like. And this is going to be, if you go to any of the local kind of courier offices, you'll find them on most blocks. 5 copper pieces will get your message delivered anywhere within Dungannon's territory. 1 copper piece, though, will get your message delivered to your family, assuming that they're in the city.
Do I know where they are?
Outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
That's a 5 silver piece, or 5 copper piece message.
Yeah, okay. All right, excellent. So I'm going to go back on the ship and just try to quickly write a letter.
Okay, sure. So you get up on ship, you pull out a little piece of paper, and you start dashing something together. Meanwhile, is there anything that you're doing, Oakfeld or Shay?
I'd probably have some spare wood that I've had.
Sure.
Just probably taking it off my body at some point.
Sure.
When I was a big, large tree. I'm going to probably take my trusty sharp pike and just start carving something.
Okay.
It isn't very clear what I'm carving yet, but it looks like I'm making something.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You begin to make something.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Akka, what are you doing? You with Glub, invisible, now walking on the streets of Dungannon.
I'm going straight to the Touffet Museum.
No problem. You make your way through the busy streets now, about 3 o'clock. People kind of brushing by. Are you dropping invisibility or just kind of staying invisible?
Probably staying invisible till I get to the stairs down, and then going in.
No problem. You make your way in. 1 second here. Oh, we can play Club's music. I love Glob's music.
It's so calming.
Yeah, it is very calming. You open the doors, these oaken doors that lead you down the steps beneath the Touffet Museum. You make your way through these small puddles in this kind of false sewer, and as you open the door at the end, you see this familiar sort of sitting room. One second here. Where are we going to take this guy? Right here. You see Mr. Gift kind of sitting at this main table. You see a number of parcels kind of stuffed over to one side, some of it already kind of a loamy, mushroomy smell, kind of some of Oglethree's stuff that's been stacked closer to the door. You can hear sounds coming from the direction of where Drea does work.
Okay.
And you see Mr. Gift. He stands up and kind of looks you up and down and goes, "Weren't you in Yorn just yesterday?"
Yes.
Very well.
We. Maybe. There's a flying ship.
Yes, you said.
Yes.
You brought that here.
That's how we got here so quickly.
Fascinating.
It was in the pond, like down by the park.
Well, go tell
But
Drea. I'm sure
it's-
she'll like to see.
Yeah, I was gonna. How is she doing?
Well, you're here, so probably not great for very much longer, but she seems to be in an okay mood today.
Okay, cool. Great.
If I were to disappoint Drea, today is as fine a day as ever.
Thanks. Great. Okay. This is Glub.
Oh, hi there.
Mr. Gift. I have to figure out where to drop him off. He was a friend of Morwin and Heinrich and Shay, but now he's with us. Us being Shay and me and a bunch of new people that you haven't met. And we're kind of going to Kua-Tar Badlands still, I think. A lot has happened.
That's a dangerous
The week
place to go.
You had some stuff that you needed to talk to me about.
Drea had things for you.
Oh,
She
okay.
had something completely.
Sure, there's nothing.
If you would like me to stall you for time, I can. What do you
No.
need?
Can you just keep an eye on him? He's poisonous. Don't touch
Kind
him.
of takes a step back, and Glub goes, "Hi,
Give
not a
him
criminal."
He's not a criminal. He might be becoming a pirate now. I think that was the plan.
You can see
don't
Mr.
know.
Gift. He looks at you, and then says, "Aka, are you sending this creature on a path of piracy?"
It isn't my choice to do that. I didn't want him.
He turns to Glub and goes, "Young creature, where do you belong?" And Glub looks up and goes, "Grung country." And Mr. Gift goes, "I'm not familiar with that, but you don't have any prospects currently?" And Glub goes, "Nope." Mr. Gift just goes, "Do you have any skills, talents?"
He can pick up rocks and bring them across courtyards and then bring them back.
"I'm really good at it." Mr. Gift goes, "Well, that's good. We don't have a courtyard. We do have manual labor that does need doing. What is your name?" And Glub just goes, "I'm Glub." And he goes, "Well, Glub, here, why don't you help me with this?" And he starts to kind of show him Oglethree's stuff, begins to direct him to throw this portion of stuff out, as this is kind of like soiled bedclothes and things that,
No, he's gonna be Ogle3's little servant.
oh man, that'd be great.
Oh, no, I hate Ogle3.
He kind of sees your like shudder, and he goes, "Ogle3 has actually gone abroad, so he will be gone for several months, I would imagine."
Okay, well, I'm gonna go see Drea now.
Good luck.
Thanks.
I'll be in my office. And he picks his stuff up and kind of opens the door, walks down the hallway towards his office, shutting the door in between, this heavier door. Keep the sound.
Okay.
You walk down the first hallway, kind of curving to the right, and you can hear these sounds intensify, almost like just metal being sawed.
Okay.
As you approach, the fire kind of casts a silhouette of Drea, and it's horrifying. You see all kinds of in this silhouette or the shadow that's being cast from the fire, you see like strange mechanical limbs attached. It looks almost like the mechanical Spider-Man thing that kind of comes out in like claws. You see each one of them kind of going up and moving and manipulating different things. But as you get within maybe like 20 feet, suddenly you see the shadow stop and kind of turn, and you just hear, Aka.
I'm gonna like go up to the door, poke my head in, and be like, Andrea.
I hear your coward's footsteps. Come, stupid Aka. She turns, and as you kind of step in, you can see she's wearing what looks like, along her spine, the blue plates of this dragonborn. You can see this metallic, like almost silver finish, brilliant. It looks like a back brace almost that travels up just the vertebrae. But then you see, very much like Doc Ock almost, these 3 on either side independent limbs that kind of come out, different tools on the end of each one. She turns, and as she does, like all of the arms kind of turn with it, and it's like this General Grievous kind of thing looming over you already. But
Awesome.
she turns and just goes, "Where were you for so long that you could not do work?"
I really tried. I was in the Feywild for a week.
And you still got me nothing.
Well, it felt like a day for me, so I kind of lost the whole week.
It took me less than a day to get everything on my list.
I was up in the north in Yorn, the lost city of the giants, and a lot of stuff that I had to do.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm gonna pull out the resurrection stone too and be like, I got this for...
Okay, never mind. She like darts forwards and kind of puts her hands over yours and kind of lowers it and goes, "Where did you get this?
In the Feywild.
From whom?"
Was it Aurelian who gave it to us?
No, Aurelian
No,
is
not
the
Aurelian.
the original god of everything.
Alien.
Yeah, Azalian.
Yeah.
Azalian, the other alien.
Azalian. I do not know this name.
Do
not show that to people.
Well, that's why I brought it here. I didn't want it either. That's... Do you remember? You remember Morwen.
Yes.
That's what they were going for. That's why we were in the north.
Ugh. She kind of turns. It is unnatural. And if there are those who know that you can bring the dead back, they will kill you for this thing.
Well, that's why, I brought it here, because, powerful magic items are kind of our thing.
She holds out her hand. She kind of takes it. She weighs it in one hand, and then one of the mechanical arms comes down from over top and just kind of picks it up and drops it off into something behind her back. She turns and says, "It is good that you brought that here."
See, I got, some good ideas every now and again.
So what do you want?
Well, Mr. Gift said that you had something for me, and I was also wondering if you found anything out about that shield that I left you.
Yes. So she sort of pulls off these straps, and all of a sudden you hear something kind of separate, and this whole mechanical kind of skeleton just goes limp. She takes it off. This whole machinery, this must be heavy, but she is quite strong, and sets it down on the ground and walks kind of into where her office would be. And disappears for like a minute, and then returns with your yellow shield. The golden shield from the Grey Lady.
Yeah.
This curse is quite funny.
Okay.
But it is no longer cursed.
What was the
mundane
curse?
shield of gold.
Oh.
over time, you would have changed as you wielded it. You would have become smaller and gray.
Oh.
A Duragar.
Oh. I guess that makes sense. Okay, well, I guess you can smelt it down or something. Keep it.
She kind of tucks it under her arm. Very well. This is for you. She turns and gestures to this mechanical armed contraption. This is a multi-tool. It will allow you to do a great many things. Aka, do not break my machine. Use it. Use the tools. Tell me how it works. Yes.
Yes. It
Do you
looks...
need me to write these down?
No, I should be able to manage. How do the controls function?
Well, and she takes this down. I actually forgot to print out this card because I was so focused on printing out your other one.
Oh.
Give me 1 second here.
Which I'm also about to show her, so.
I do have that ready for you. So, an all-purpose tool. This is a +2 all-purpose tool. It is like this almost back brace kind of thing, very much like a Doc Ock sort of machine.
Cool.
As an action, you can touch this this thing, which really you can just kind of utilize the controls and transform them into any type of artisan's tool. In addition, whatever kind of proficiency it takes, you're proficient with it, which you already are as an artificer. While holding it, you get a bonus to the spell attack rolls and saving throw DCs of your artificer spells. So you get a +2 bonus.
Oh.
As an action, you can also focus the tool to channel your creative forces. You can choose a cantrip that you don't know from any class list. Any class
damn.
list.
Oh, damn.
Any class list. For
Thank
8
you,
hours, you
Drea.
can cast that cantrip, and it counts as an artificer cantrip for you.
Ooh, thank
Once
you,
this
Drea.
property is used, it can't be used again until next dawn.
Until next dawn.
Yes.
These are very nicely done. How long did it take you to make these?
Months. And it would have taken shorter had I had my list fulfilled.
I'm sorry, it was a lot going on. You know?
I do. Aka, I will not be around forever. There is a time when you will need to take over what I do here, and that draws close.
Right. Yeah. Well, we're going towards where we think Zeistrees is, so one way or another, we're probably gonna have some results.
Good. In the meantime, use this tool. Tell me how it works.
Okay. Anything else while I'm out?
Not currently.
Okay. I dropped small growing off with Mr. Gift. I don't know if you have any need for.
I've eaten today.
Okay. Oh, also, I got this, and I'm gonna pull out the pauldron.
She kind of holds it in her hands, weighing it. You can see these kind of glyphs and almost similar to yours, calligraphy, but with sharper lines, like draconic calligraphy, essentially. And as it kind of shifts and moves up her arms, it goes and traces across this item. This is interesting. Where did you come across this?
Dark Meadow. They had it in their armory. There's also an Ioun stone, but that's
You found
on
an
the.
Ioun stone.
They found it. It was just in the back room of the town armory.
That is where this mantle was.
Yes.
That makes sense. We have some record of this. It was lost during the Grey Fang incursion. Not destroyed.
Okay.
Some history to it.
Do you want to come to the docks with me? There's a flying ship. Mr. Gift tell you about that?
Given your smug tone.
But I'm also doing my
Yep.
Drea, I love you smile.
I'll pass.
Are you sure it's literally a flying ship? I'm not joking.
Where I'm from, we've seen a similar thing.
there's a monk up in the north who does some tinkering as well.
I am
It's
preparing
pretty
Akka
nice.
for a long journey home. It has been many years, but the pledge calls.
Remember about Val Chrysix that I told you about? He's
Yes.
probably going to be there. Maybe you... He's kind of mean, but, you know, again, you are also kind of mean. So... you might get along.
When we met you, Akka, you were pathetic. More than now. You were small. Even smaller amongst those that we found you with.
At least I'm not a small great Durgar. Yeah?
I know that I have not always been nice. But to become something more, you needed structure.
Well, you know how I appreciate you.
When I return, perhaps I will show you what a real Skyship is.
Yeah. Okay, well, ours is pretty cool, but okay. That's fine. Well, thank you for the all-purpose tool. Again, very nice.
I know.
I will treat it with utmost respect, which I also extend to you, because I love you, Drea.
Now is a good time to go.
Okay, okay.
You get a couple steps down the hallway and she says, Akka,
Yes,
don't die.
it's getting harder and harder. Yeah, but okay, you too.
You can see the form just kind of withdraw back into her offices. But you have all that. You now know what that mantle is.
Great. And
So
I
you-
have the multi-tool
Yeah.
that, I'll figure out the stats later.
Yeah, I can send it to you. It's a
Yeah.
+2 basically
Yeah.
for your spells, and that's like the
Hopefully
big
we're not going to get into any combat for a bit.
So anyways, you going back, just right back to the ship?
I'm going to go back and check on Glub, figure out that situation.
It takes a little bit to find Gleb, but eventually kind of making your way a little further into the Antiquities Collective, into the first kind of area where you keep some commoner magic items, you hear Mr. Gift's voice, a little excited, and then you go in and you can see Glub taking out like the inventorying books and beginning to kind of like stack them up. Mr. Gift turns to you and goes, Glub has agreed to go over every single book and put them back in order. We haven't done this in close to 10 years, so...
Does he know how to read?
Glub, and Glub goes, no. And you can see Mr. Gift go, how are you going? And Glub said, well, you told me to do it, so I'm just going to do my best. And he kind of gets back to moving these books around, and Mr. Gift goes,
Do you see now why I might be the way I am right now?
were you a grown at some point?
Well, anyway, I gotta take him to the pirate ship, I guess.
What pirate ship?
The Mud Brothers.
I
Remember?
Finn, yeah. They left maybe 3 days ago, and you all didn't return. They said something about Morwen.
Yeah, Morwen's probably gonna be gone for a while. Alright,
To be totally honest with you, having Morwen and Finn in here was not the best idea.
no, I know. I mean, I got back the golden statue.
Appreciate it. I'm just saying it's not the worst thing having them out of the collection.
Yeah. I'm gonna take him to the orphanage, I guess? Take him back to the ship, maybe? I don't know.
Well, he can't read and seems bad at following instructions, so...
And is generally grating with
He
his
seems
cloying
perfectly pleasant.
sweetness. It is cloying.
You see Glub, he like sets a book down and goes, "Oh, you called me sweet." And he just kind of goes back and picks up another couple books and stacks them over. Mr. Gift says, "We could look after him briefly. Very briefly.
Yeah.
But you will need to eventually find a longer-term solution. We do have a room available with Ogilvy gone."
Okay. Well, okay, fine. Yep. Hey, Glub, buddy.
Yeah?
You're gonna stay here for a bit,
Okay.
only a little, and then I really don't know where you're gonna go after
Okay.
that. So, good luck getting your life together.
Hey, you too.
All right. Whew. I will see you and be in contact as soon as I have any more news.
You can see who are you talking to?
To Mr. Gift.
Okay. Mr. Gift nods and says, "Good luck. And be careful. The Badlands are quite dangerous."
All right. Well, I will see you when I see you then.
Very well, Akka.
I'm gonna make my way out and probably go out the door and then just fly up really high and beeline it to the docks.
Sure. You begin to walk out, and as you do, you can just hear Mr. Gift say, "Well, I'd better introduce you to everybody. Let's go meet Drea." You just hear Glub go, "Oh, okay." You head up and...
Damn, if she had come
Softened
with
the,
me, it
the
would have really
docks.
softened the blow.
Yeah, probably. But you make your way back to the docks. The rest of you, is there anything that you're doing while you're waiting? This whole interaction takes about half an hour. It will take about an hour because also then Akka has to reach the docks. So.
At this point, you can kind of see what I'm building. Right around the side of the ship, there's like a little bit of a railing.
Mhm.
You can see I'm kind of building like a jointery to go around it to like hold something.
Okay.
And it's a long pole going up. And at the top, you can see it's like something that's like hanging out, like a little like light pole that's like hanging out, like a branch, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And you can see that there's like a little hole at the top with the string going down, and that's as far as I've gotten at this point.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And you can
so-
see I'm definitely working on something in my hands.
And over time, you know, the crowd does disperse. Kind of, there are people that do come up to see this ship with all of its strange sails. People did hear about the flying ship. You do see several people who do come up and walk right by your ship looking for the flying ship. When it's in the water, it isn't that different from others. So, you know, for what it's worth, relatively calm.
So I wrote my letter.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk to the courier's office.
Sure.
And send that out. Okay. Before I leave the ship, I'm like, well, Phylactery, do we need anything while we're in town? We're going to some pretty rough areas, yeah. So
I am all set.
I am in my zone right now. I'm quite good.
Doesn't even like look up from his project. You see he's like moving the string and kind of getting it just right. But yeah, busy as Oakfeld.
okay. So I'm gonna go deliver that, and if there is a shop that sells potions, I would like to see if I remember if that exists anywhere.
Make it just a flat intelligence check. You are from this place, so
Yeah,
you
I don't know how much
it's
attention
it's a
I
low
need.
DC.
Okay, so that is. That's a 13.
A 13. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple different places that you could go. What exactly are you looking for?
I would like to see if I can find somewhere where I either buy more health potions or see if, because with the amount of undead that have been happening,
Sure.
I would like to get at least one thing that might be a little bit better against undead in case there's like a major incident like there was with the giant.
Okay. You know, in terms of like so Dungannon has something that is called the Traveler's Hall. It is like an open to the air marketplace. Excuse me. It actually features a lot of goods from abroad. So things from south of the boiling ocean, west of the Emerald Expanse. Lots of different kind of goods, but it's pretty hit or miss. There's days where there's lots of good stuff there. There's days where it's kind of empty.
Yeah.
You know there is if you're looking for like a magical item, the best place in Dungannon is Calessian's Golden Exchange. A little pricey, and the guy is pretty into himself, but it's the best shop for like magical things. And I would say, given your background and the things that you've done with your life, you also know he has a back room that has some extra legal items. Things that may not be allowed strictly underneath Dungannon's a little bit stricter laws. And then finally, if you were looking for, probably has health potions, but not necessarily specializing in alchemy, there is a place called, I just lost it, the Stables in the Slough. It's it used to be owned by the Danby Griffin Company, and once they lost most of their griffins, it was repurposed into, at first, a bunch of different like little shops, and now predominantly dominated by like a bunch of different microbreweries, essentially. But there are a couple of different people who do potions and different things of that nature.
So, I'm gonna stop by the Golden Exchange
Sure.
first, because if we're gonna be dropping money, we might as well go there first.
Sure. All right. So you walk over to the Golden Exchange. From the docks, you have to kind of go up and then a little ways across on Sonoso, but not too far. You see this building from afar as the building itself, the little seams that run between the windows. And the windows already kind of exotic, not a lot of glass in Dominion. So huge bay windows, kind of gold lines that separate the individual panes. And as you walk in, the counters are glass, the back part is glass. You see at the counter the incredibly vain Calessian, who is a fiery-haired, a half-elf maybe with tan skin, seems to have these natural forming patterns underneath. It's hard to tell if they're tattoos, maybe birthmarks. You can see he has one fine leather shoe up on the stool, securing it from beneath pants of a matching color. He wears what looks like a blazer jacket with a busy pattern of green stripes and black, white, and yellow lines intersecting at bizarre angles. The inside of the suit, as evidenced by the overturned collar, is crimson. His red hair is slicked back, and his keen brown eyes twinkle mischievously, flecks of gold shimmering from the exterior. Welcome to Calessian's Golden Exchange. You're pleased, I'm sure. What can I help you with?
So, I'm actually here, and I kind of like shuffle up as close as I can and kind of lean over in like a conspiratorial manner and be like,
Sure.
I hear you have the best unique items.
Do you speak Thieves' Cant?
Yes.
Great. He kind of looks you up and down, looks over your shoulder, and goes, well, we are a bit slow today. Yes, we do have some special items. What are you looking for?
So, I don't know if you've heard about the magical ship, but it just flew in. We're going on a rather intense adventure, thinking of knocking some undead heads around, and I'm a little bit worried about the group. I'm hoping to see if you might have anything that might give us a little bit of an edge.
Well, let's see what we have in stock here. He turns and kind of looking at the case. You can see there's like this silver crescent moon on a thin silver chain. There's a belt of alligator skin with a buckle that features the Mozari fire lizard sigil of the Mozari Rangers. There is a golden scarab kind of tick thing with a glass body wrapped in gold wire. For what it's worth, you in the lookout for these, that shimmering liquid within that scarab appears to be a health potion, kind of. You see black robes that are kind of hung up on this little wire rack. A broad bottom border of snow white with little constellations of black in the negative spaces. But what he turns to is this glass orb with black cloth over top. And pulling away the black cloth, you see this glass orb just shimmering interior light, almost as if somebody is like dropping glitter from above, but it never pools at the bottom. He says, oh, look at that.
Sorry. Gotta shut it off.
Your sending stone is ringing. This is a orb that, when broken, will cast prismatic spray at a very high level. Good to get you out of a jam. One use only, I'm afraid. However, if you are looking for something a bit more unique, well, just a moment. Please keep your hands to yourself, but feel free to look at anything. And he goes back into this room. As he opens the door, you kind of peek in. The room, though narrow, incredibly tall. You can see like this almost storage rack that goes back. It's only like a 30-foot long room, but looking up, you do not see the ceiling. There's shelves and shelves and shelves, like a warehouse. But he is going to return with... He's going to peek his head out and go, how are you with disgusting things?
I've seen a lot, so as long as it's
What about armor that drinks your blood in exchange for some other benefits? It's living.
I'd give it a go.
Well, one moment. And he kind of disappears. You hear like little wheels, like a little ladder being pulled. He kind of goes up and grabs something. You hear a couple other things kind of move around. Okay. You hear something scrape as he pulls that up. And then... Okay. He's going to peek out with these two items. And he's going to say, I have two things for you here. And then something... Well, if this is not enough, and I doubt that very much, as we do carry the best items, but if that is not enough, I have one more thing that I could show you in the back. It is the most unique item and does require a certain amount of discretion.
I see. I don't have a great way of moving unique items at the moment. We're a bit conspicuous.
Well, if you can afford them, I'm sure that you could afford to have them delivered. We could arrange for that. However, the first thing, he pulls this large covered cloth package. Now, I warn you, it is a bit aggressive and it puts on a bit of a show. It's really just a show. It can't connect to you and begin drawing your life force out without a bit of consent, so don't get too worried. He pulls aside the cloth. You see this hideous black chitinous ooze that kind of moves, very much like the symbiote from Venom, actually. You see like this one kind of bubble almost, but it's like it has these sharp black elements that come out of it. As he begins to speak, you see it almost like shimmers with his words. This is a living thing. It's from extremely down south the boiling ocean from Mithelstreen, in fact. While wearing this armor, you will be a bit resistant to damage of the poison, psychic, and necrotic varieties. I will warn you, once on, does not remove. There are ways to do it, I'm sure, but it would not like that. And if you are targeted by a spell that ends the curse, it can react a little violently. So, a little bit of caution. It does also drink a small amount of your blood every morning. But I've heard that's healthy.
A bit of bloodletting.
Exactly. No, they use leeches and things, but this, no bugs. The second thing that I have, he pulls out a scabbard. It's a long sword, a very long weapon. This is steel. It is a magical weapon. Deals extra damage, and from time to time, if you find yourself joining the ranks of the undead or the pre-undead, once a day, if you can react quick enough, you can maybe turn them back to your side for just a moment. This item, I've heard from the gentleman who brought it to us that it can talk to you. So, word to the wise, it may have some impact on your sanity.
Alright. So we have the living armor and the potentially talking sword.
Again, don't know if that's true or not, but yes, potentially talking. It's called steel.
Steel. Alright. What are we looking at?
Well, this next item, don't look it in the eyes, and do not touch the case or locks to the case. It is of the more dangerous variety. Give me 1 second. Okay. He opens the door to the back room and kind of gestures. Do you want to step in?
Yep.
Okay. You step in, he closes the door behind, and you see in front of you almost immediately the thing that he is going to show you. This is a simple, ragged, black cloth doll, about 10 inches tall and vaguely humanoid in form. It has no other features aside from large white sutures that hold the head onto the neck, as if it had been torn off and repaired. So, I didn't buy this. It wasn't purchased or obtained by me. It was here when I found the shop, and as such, I felt it irresponsible to dispose of it just on the street. But you seem responsible enough. We speak the same language, after all. This item can be used as a spellcasting focus for somebody of that bend, but once a long rest, you are able to, if you are attuned to the doll, rip the head off. If you do so, it will bind to a nearby spirit, bending it to your service for 10 minutes. The creature, once you lose control of it, will act according to its nature. So there are some troubling aspects of it, I'm sure, but nevertheless. It is quite illegal in Dungannon, as it does technically trap souls.
Makes sense. I'm afraid I don't think we have anyone who could take advantage of such a thing, though. So I don't think anyone's a spellcaster, per se.
Well, let me think. In terms of the different things that we have available to fight the undead, the only other things that we have are more meant for those who dabble in those magics to begin with.
Okay. So, how much is the armor?
Well, for living armor from across the ocean, imported from the finest of smiths that deal with such things. Just give me 1 second here. Well, we could let it go for 300 gold pieces. A steel.
And the sword?
Well, that is a literal steel,
Yep.
as that is its name. For such an item with undoubtable history and clearly some semblance of sentience, I really shouldn't even sell it. That is akin to slavery after a fact. But if I had to, I could let go of that for 750 gold pieces.
Alright. So, out of the two, I think... I'm afraid I'm a little bit short on the armor. Would you be willing to either do trades or advance deposits?
This is the golden exchange. Of course I'm happy to do a trade. What do you have?
So, like I said, flying a ship at the moment. Are there any unique items that you need procured for you?
There's always unique items I have procured for me. Whereabouts do you intend to head on your travels?
The Badlands.
The Kua-Tar Badlands to the south. Well, there are many creatures that wander that place, aberrations. Within many of them there are crystals embedded. You will notice them for this shimmering blue. I would recommend not touching these crystals. They will damage your mind in short order, but there is the very power of life itself in those shards, should you know how to use them. I could use those.
So, what if I give you 200 gold and the promise to return with some crystals for the armor?
Promises are not something that I typically exchange, and I've never seen you in here before, so it would be hard for me to go on your word.
Fair enough. How about this then? I gesture over to like the golden scarab.
Okay.
Is that closer to something that would be
In your price range?
Yeah.
That golden scarab is called. The only problem, since I haven't used printed notes in so long, is now I just get them out of order and I just get. lost.
Probably just shuffle through everything several times.
Yeah. Sorry about that if it's picking up on the microphone too. Okay.
ASMR.
Not that.
It's an extra feature.
Yeah. It's a feature. Why can I not find this item? Oh, it was the scarab, right?
Scarab. Pretty cute.
It is pretty. Okay, so you can see this is. He pulls it off the wall. It looks like a little golden scarab or beetle. And he says, when you are an adventurer, and so I'm sure that this is something that you could use, should you ever find yourself unfortunate enough to drop to a lifeless state, this scarab will break and inject the contents into you, rendering you healthy again to some extent. It won't heal all the damage, likely, but a good amount. In mechanical terms, it is basically a one-shot emergency superior health potion.
Okay.
I'm looking for the price on that. For that, just 50 gold pieces for peace of mind.
Alright, how about this? I'll take that. Won't even haggling for it. And if I come back with some of those crystals, we'll talk again about some of these other items.
That sounds good to me. Just so we're clear, you can always come and talk to me.
Oh yes, I know, but for the record, I don't know how long we'll be in town this time, so I'm a little bit just short on time at the moment.
Very well. He takes this little scarab, and you can see from beneath the counter, pulls out a little wooden box and kind of opens it, almost like a little jewelry box, and places it in, shuts it, and passes it across the counter to you.
Okay.
You can mark off 50 gold pieces.
Yep.
Will there be anything else?
No, not today. But I'll keep an eye out for those crystals for you.
Thank you very much. And feel free to return to Colessian's Golden Exchange.
Of course. I'm Eleanor, by the way.
Eleanor,
Pleasure to meet you.
you as well. I'm Colessian, and the pleasure is yours. If you do find yourself leaving and returning, my inventory refreshes often, so please make your way back.
Will do. And I'm just gonna go back to the ship like.
Sure. There you go. So all of you now kind of grouping back at the ship. It's close to 5 o'clock. You can see the sun in the distance beginning to dip down. The blues in the sky tinged with orange. What are you all doing?
I'm probably finishing up. As you look closer, you can see a round plate now hanging from a string from the branch of the pole. I have also transformed some bamboo,
Okay.
and I hollowed out just kind of like sections of it, various sections of it,
Okay.
and I ran string through the top. And if you look closely, you can see I'm kind of running my rope between all of these strings, and you can see a wind chime
Yeah.
being
Fantastic.
assembled.
I love it. Make a performance check.
Yep. 7.
7. Are you proficient in carpenter's tools? And
Plus
do you have,
2.
Do you have them?
No, but I have arms
That's
that are
true.
sharp.
So without any tools, your whittling is really just you and like a dagger, basically, just kind of going at it. This is a dagger designed primarily for like combat / utility, so not really a whittling knife. However, with a 9, you certainly have a rough kind of like it looks less like a plate, more like a flattened rhombus of some kind. It looks like a peeled potato in ways because it has like those slight angles in places. And as you kind of like press against it, like the wind passes through, less of a wind chime and more of like a clonk, 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 clonk situation, like hollow coconuts colliding together. But in and of itself, it's not the worst sound. Definitely not what you were going for. As the wind goes by, you don't hear any like the wind isn't really going by the crevices of the bamboo the way that you intended. It's not making this kind of whistle. Just coconuts. But it looks nice.
My friends, we've been together for so long. I wish to present to you all a gift.
I feel like I'm flying in as this is happening.
Oakfeld, you are truly a unique person.
And I sense an aura from all of you. From you, Eleanor, I sense white magnolia.
And I may transform a white magnolia in my hand, and I give it to you.
Strong and full of life.
Thank you.
And then I'm gonna turn to Hannah.
Hannah,
Brenna.
Oh,
Hannah's the
Brenna,
first.
I see great courage from you.
and then I summon an Elder Wise.
Haka,
Flying in. Yeah, what's up?
you're just in time. With the wind at your back, I can see that you can handle any wind that comes your way and stand tall despite any heavy blows.
Right.
You are the beauty of the weeping willow.
And I produce the flower, the weeping willow to you.
Thank you.
And then I turn to Shay.
I see
And I close my eyes.
nothing. This is quite strange. I can usually picture an aura of a flower that represents, but I get nothing.
I thank you anyway, Oakfeld.
So, let's go. Shay, can I,
You guys walk 20 feet across.
Captain,
the
go
other
ahead, get it started to head out, or
All right.
how's everyone feeling? Are we good?
Yes,
Need
of
to
course.
rest?
Last call.
Right. Shay,
Yep.
You guys walk to the other side of the ship, the back of the ship.
So,
You look like you've had something on your mind for quite some time, Akka. What is it?
I figure you should have this. That's gonna give Shay the sending stone to gamble.
Sure.
Thank you.
Now that we're not in the north anymore,
Yes.
how are you holding up?
I just want to get on with killing Zystries.
Right. Okay. So, about that, we've been through a lot, right? And
Yes.
I feel like at this point, I can say that I trust you,
Yes, Akka.
especially,
What are you getting at?
well, now that, Morwen and Heinrich are gone, and I don't really know about our new companions yet.
You turn over and you can see Oakfeld just kind of like tapping these little wooden things that are clocking together.
I feel like we should, watch each other's backs a little. Not that we haven't been. I've been watching your back as much as I can, but I want you to trust me.
I have
So,
no reason not to.
right. So that's why, as we get closer to dealing with Zystries, I want to be truthful with you, but I also don't want you to get angry.
What is it, Akka?
Have you heard of phylacteries?
Is it something Shay would have heard of?
You overheard them talking about it at one point. I think Lord Biter Boron had talked a little bit about it. I don't think you were there. So if you had mentioned anything, but if you hadn't, then no, probably not.
So the reason that I've been going after Zystries, I'm starting to learn maybe that I am one of his phylacteries, which, you know, is bad.
Well, yes. What does that mean?
Okay.
Show the full extent of my handiture.
So Akka, for the first time, kind of pulls aside elements of the cloth and kind of unclips part of the armor. You have to will this to happen because it's like difficult to
Yeah.
get this armor off. The arm and the skin are dark and black in places. And you can see there is this quality to the flesh that is strangely kind of shifting, as if at any time it could kind of quiver and turn into something else. And even as you think that, you see, just for like a flash, one of the little hairs rising from it become almost like steel, and then hair again. The fingers are like slightly pointed and elongated, certainly some kind of a curse or corruption.
So I'm not happy about this, but
No, I can't imagine you would be. What is it?
it's, I think, the phylactery, which Zystries wants.
So what do we do about it?
I don't know.
Perhaps then this should be our first priority rather than taking it to him?
Yeah, but any longer, and I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I was just operating under the assumption that if we went and killed him, it would break the curse, but if it's a phylactery,
What happens if he gets his hands on it?
I don't know, but he's contacted me. He was goading me on to come to him.
Which to me says we shouldn't bring him to him.
I just don't know what else to do.
What would you have me do?
I guess if it gets to the point where I can't control it, do what you have to.
Of course.
You've been taking it pretty well. It took me a while, so I appreciate that.
You asked me not to be mad.
Right. Anyway, we should probably go not make things more suspicious by whispering in the corner of a pretty small ship for too long. Could we not tell them until maybe we can really trust them more? I don't know how much we should be telling random strangers about
your secret.
Well,
Though, before we go up against him, if you have not found a way to get rid of it, you should inform them what they're walking into.
yeah. Well,
And that is all I will say.
yeah. Alright. So, how long till the Kua-Tar Badlands?
So you're not gonna say anything about that? Like, oh, we should go somewhere different? Dope. So
Eleanor the whole time has been like trying to like very pointedly not look in their direction, like it's not 10 feet away from her. Like, all right.
you just hear like, it's just like,
Just looking at Oakfeld, just been like,
Probably banging on it, not helping the hearing of things dropping at all.
we going? We good?
Let's get to the skies.
All right, that I can do.
Yeah.
So south, I guess.
yeah, go ahead and make a check.
Hey, an 11.
Nice. You hold your hand with reliable talent.
I rolled an 11.
Okay.
I'm not adding anything to it, so.
Yeah. So you take off, putting your hands into this kind of mist, and as you do, you feel the shape of the ship, and you're able to easily enough kind of lift away. There is a point where you kind of hook a little to the right, and you feel this scrape, and you hear as you go by one of the raised up kind of pillars that anchors the dock down to the ground. You look back, and you can see like fresh wood, like a little line across where you scarred it, but nothing major. And you pull away without any kind of
Just, like,
damage.
visibly curses to herself.
One day you'll both land and take off, not damaging the ship. And as you soar off over the Emerald Expanse before you hook around and begin to go to the south, because it is about to be 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to take our break. So give me just 1 minute. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we will be, it is 9:57. We will be back at, I'm so bad at math. We'll be back at 10:10. There we go. We'll see you then. Howdy folks, welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign. Thank you for hanging out with us through the break. We can just get right back to where we left off. So, Eleanor, you piloting the Winds of Change, this flying ship, you take off and begin to take the ship out and around across the Oakfeld expanse. As the sun begins to set, the emerald waters shimmer with like this almost fire-like surface, the color of the sunset picking up and reflecting off beneath you. You keep land off to your left side, off to your port side, and you begin to travel. You travel in the direction of the Kua-Tar Badlands to the south. And you know, especially with this craft, if you guys are going to the location of the dig, it'll take you less than a day. Real quick trip for you guys. So what are you all doing now that you are flying and airborne?
How long until we would get to the Kua-Tar Badlands?
So you guys,
Roughly?
well, so it depends on what you guys are
By, I guess by ship until we get to the dig, and then I guess by foot or by if we get like mounts or something.
doing. The ship will take you to the dig in something like a couple hours. It'll be a real quick trip. From the dig, you're going underground and then progressing across the Badlands. If it's like a one-to-one, you've never been, but if it's a one-to-one travel time, 2 days.
Okay.
Now that I'm thinking of it, as we approach the Badlands, do you guys know much about the local creatures of the Badlands? Because I had learned some interesting facts.
Do I know?
Make a history or nature check, your choice.
Okay.
Or an arcana check if you would like. Although that's going to get you real
like
specific knowledge, it may be pertinent.
Okay. Yeah, I'll throw out some arcana, because I like me my arcana. And that is why. That is, 33.
Okay. In the Kua-Tar Badlands, deep somewhere within the desert, within the warp itself, there is tale of a towering black obelisk. This tower supposedly extends both to the sky and down below in equal measure, owned by some powerful mage lost to history. There is no entrance. Nobody's ever been within. And mostly just stories. But in that area, there are certainly creatures that roam not from Alberon, from beyond. Bizarre creatures with misshapen forms and dozens of mismatched descriptions.
Cool. I would say all of that.
Well,
That's what I know.
I heard while I was in town that those aberrations have some unique crystals within them. Well, if we can grab a few, I'm sure that would be great. But the description was, do not touch. They're very dangerous and potentially deadly. So,
Yes, they are.
Um,
I would discourage you from even going near them.
I would also say that, and also say we kind of have bigger fish to fry.
we are approaching somewhere where aberrations exist. I figured the knowledge would be good to have.
So remind me, have any of you heard of Zystris?
You can make a history check if you want.
I think that's a grand old 7.
It sounds elvish.
No?
Can I make a check?
Yeah, go for it.
17 plus 5.
22?
So, you've never heard of Zystris, but in this moment, as you kind of stand near the chimes that you've crafted from wood, chimes is a strong word, these hollow wooden things that clunk together in what could be considered a melody to somebody who's never heard one. You closed your eyes, you let the wind go by through your hair, remembering a time when it wasn't hair, remembering what that felt like, and in this moment, you can almost hear words in the wind. You don't know who Zystris is, but but the wind is cold, and it is a warning. That's all.
So
Uh,
nothing. No one.
I've-
Brenna. No.
I do not know this name, but
Well, Brenna knows. I know Brenna.
Brenna
knows.
kind of nods and goes, "No, I know all about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
I could tell you." So for
Neither
my
of you-
people,
yeah.
I'm a deep
Oh.
gnome. I come from underground, and for my people, Zystris is kind of like, like
he's
I don't really know a whole lot about people up on top.
Undead lich necromancer who's also a mind flayer.
Yeah, he
Have you heard
waged
of
war
mind
against
flayers?
many of the
Mind
nations of the
flayers
Underdark.
are aberrations from another plane. Generally, I feel like they eat mines, flay mines. That's in the name. They probably have some weird abyssal name that they call each other, but it's more like a description than more like a description of what they do than, and also necromancer lich, who is presumably the cause of the undead that we encountered and have been hearing about and will probably see much more of.
I'm gonna mutter to like myself, like gears are turning in my head.
could this be the corruption that my people have faced?
Tangentially, yes. Because Zystris is, as far as we know, working for Tessara. Have you heard? Goddess of Rot? No?
Tessara.
Not Tessara.
That's from session like
Yeah, not
4.
Tessara. What's her
Tessara
face?
was the queen of
Yeah.
the sands.
Who's the one in Calypsos?
Azra.
Azra. Yes. So Zystris is working for Azra to essentially join Calypsos with our material plane so that, she can take over, and that all sort of is like one part of an overarching prophecy, which I've really only heard. Do you have it written down, or was that? Yeah. So, essentially, different pillars, each one controls a certain aspect of life, and activating them will reintroduce that catalyst for life. I think, right? Which is also why dragons are back in the world. If you hadn't
No
heard
dragons
about
are
that,
back in the world.
Make a roll 20 set of dice. So there's not a ton of direct interaction that you would have had, but
Yeah.
maybe through some of your companions you might have heard something.
17.
No idea.
Yeah.
You've heard, you
what-
have heard that there was supposedly a creature that burrowed up from the earth and was some kind of a dragon-like creature in the dwarven citadel of Coitart. But aside from that, dragons back in the world, there hasn't been a dragon in Dominion in close to 300 years.
You might run that back a little bit.
so
Dragons?
yes, Pillar of Scales. I was not involved in this, but I heard from Shays and my former compatriots that dragons were reintroduced into the world because of their failure to stop a wizard who activated it with a magic item that they gave to him.
Well, more
The
specifically,
details are, inconsequential because the end result is that dragonkind has been released back into the world. Wyverns, dragons, dragonkin, the whole gamut. So,
All right. I wish I knew this while we were still in town. I would have perhaps gotten some stuff.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Arrows of
dragons
dragon
are
sight.
also sort of, yeah, I mean, we probably still have a lot on. Actually, no. Our friend had most of the alcohol, and also didn't ever get it onto this ship. So I guess I'm looking through my bag to see if I have any like
Sure, yeah.
alcohol.
I assure you, whatever the beast, monstrosity, or obstacle that we face, I will stand tall with you, my compatriots, and together we will find a way.
Right.
Aka, make a perception check.
Ooh. Oh. Is it to look at things?
Yeah. You can use your helm of the eagle eye.
Great. That's. It's pretty high. It's 25.
Okay. You guys are now passing over the land to the south of Dungannon. You know, the Stain Bridge now well behind you. And you can see sort of sand and patches of grass growing before you get into the Badlands proper. Before you make it too far, along the main road, one of the trade roads that goes from Dungannon to Mudtown far to the south, you see off to the side like a little wooden two-story house, brick foundation. You see a little sign outside, and you can smell cooking food. This is like some kind of an inn that exists on one of the trade routes. There's a few of them. If you wanted alcohol, you could stop there. You would be pulling up to like the drive-through in a flying ship, basically, but you certainly could.
How difficult would it be, and how necessary is it that you have alcohol right now to handle the amount of information that I'm about to tell you that is probably going to continue to get worse than dragonkind being reintroduced to the world?
Than
Worse,
dragons.
yes. So that's one of the multiple pillars, each of which will reintroduce some form of life back into the world, followed by, I think, some other cataclysmic event that is like the beginning of a new age, and the fight for, existence as we currently know it.
How difficult would it be to pull into the inn?
I mean, so when you look down, there's this long road, and you can see it moves almost like a dirt and somewhat cobbled river that kind of runs along. On the sides, here and there, you can see small trees, but by and large, sand and little bits of grass. So you can kind of put it down wherever.
Okay, so, hold that thought.
Right.
I will, in fact, I'm gonna just, like, park and see if I can buy a bottle of, like, the equivalent of dark rum.
So
Like, just-
make a quick check just to see what this, and make sure the entrance isn't extra interesting.
yeah, it was just a 10.
You suddenly kind of shift your hands, and you can feel beneath your hands the steam, the mist, whatever this stuff is. It kind of distorts and comes together, and suddenly, for all of you on the ship, you feel the ship begin to descend and kind of drift around in a wide arc. And as you pull in front of this, you can see the sign in front says Winkelrick's Pub. You land in front, maybe 50 feet away, across the sort of dirt and cobble street. So who's going into Winkelrick's?
I'm putting the ship down.
Okay.
I'm putting the thing down. I'm striding off of the ship into the front door
Like, I'm
Yeah.
just
to
gonna like.
the bar.
Should I wait for her to get
Oh.
back before I? Yeah, well, I'll wait for her to get back before we continue.
My friend Akawa, what is this place of business that I see? I've
It's
seen many of
called a pub.
pub.
Yeah, you get food and. Are you not from society? Or...
I am from. I look off into the distance. I am from the mighty oaks of the Fae. I was once a treant, a great, great oak, banished and felled from my society for not going along with the path of staying silent to the incoming threat against our people.
Okay. So a pub is where you get food and drinks if you drink them, like alcohol, which is made with barley. Maybe you you barley know them.
Do I get like a whiff of like the smell of alcohol?
Make a perception check.
Oh, 1.
Nope. You smell sand, and you smell the faintest little bits of maybe something sweet growing somewhere nearby. For you especially, that kind of just takes your mind away from that. Maybe a cactus flower somewhere in the distance. So, for you, you pop open the door. It is pretty quiet. It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock on a Wednesday night, so it's not, popping. But as you get in, you see this elderly-looking halfling across, sitting on the stool behind a bar. You can actually see the tops or the bottoms of his feet, because his feet kind of just go up, and he's well off the ground. But he squints through his little kind of smudge glasses at you. Yeah.
Good sir.
Do I know you?
No.
Oh.
I'm just passing through. Do you have a bottle of something decently strong? I'm talking enough.
Well, yeah, we of course do. Welcome to Winklericks. We have Captain Emeraldbane spiced rum, and also we have, if you're maybe looking for something a little cheaper, we have Eldritch Al's Blast Gut. That'll definitely do the job.
I'll take the captain's spiced rum, please. I do need to. How much?
Just for one drink. You seem like you're having a bad day. Do you want the whole
The
bottle?
whole bottle, please.
6 silver, please.
Okay. She had to hands over 6 silver.
This tiny little wrinkly hand comes out. You see he's missing his forefinger. He takes the silver pieces and he goes, okay, 1 minute. And he hops down. He just disappears. And he walks around the bar holding in his both arms this bottle of spiced rum. You see kind of painted onto the bottle a tiefling, long beard. And you can see little chili peppers painted onto the side as well. Now, when they say that this is spiced, it really is spiced. So just, be mindful about that. If you have any cuts in your mouth, I wouldn't drink it right away, or maybe do.
I appreciate the warning. And then she just kind of hands over the silver, uncorks it, takes a swig, and just walks out.
You just walk out, still drinking it. You guys see suddenly the door open, wearing all very nice clothes, like very refined as Eleanor, just chugging rum. So you make your way back up onto the ship.
Yeah, I want to drink enough where I'll feel it, but not so much that I can't pilot.
Sure, Constitution saving throw, please. Alcohol's a poison.
Okay, so that is a 19.
What is your con score?
My con score is 12.
So from the clear bottle, you can see, full. When she gets out through the door, you can see from the lantern nearby, the amber liquid. But by the time she gets across the street, just 50 feet, there's a third of it gone. As you pull this away, it is spicy. Not just spiced with, your traditional kind of rum spices. There's chili pepper in there. It is sweet, spicy, almost like a light barbecue kind of flavor. It's amazing. And you have that. You are not drunk.
So anyway, then you give them money for the food and alcohol, and that is what a pub. Sometimes they have beds too, and you can sleep in beds, like flower beds, but for people.
And this alcohol,
oh.
it makes them...
Inebriated is the word, or drunk. Tanked.
I believe I...
So, back to...
I'm going to go back to piloting and be like, I believe we left off at dragons.
Yeah.
Suddenly
dragons.
you have to grab onto the railing because the ship just lurches and begins to take off
And
into
we're
the
off.
sky.
Ooh, okay. So...
Smells like the rotten seed bearings of the apple tribe.
Just kind of like, do you want some?
I could.
Yeah, just-
All right.
Spicy, sweet in a way. Pretty good.
Okay. So, dragons back. There's also undead, which
Notice that one.
I think some sort of aberration. I'm a little hazy on all of them because, kind of focusing on the one and working our way through as quickly but also still weak as we can. What else am I missing, Shay? So anyways, Istris, working for Azra, trying to come back during all of these other events, Aurelian Star, coming Blue Star, foretelling the end of the world as we know it into a new world dominated by whichever pillars, get activated and rebirth life into the world.
Okay.
So we're dealing with Zystris, focusing in on that one.
The Lich.
Yes, the Mind Flayer Lich,
Right.
who
How could I forget?
may be in the Kua-Tar Badlands.
All right. So what's the plan? Please tell me. There is a plan? A weapon?
Go fight him and hopefully not die, maybe? I
2 whole steps. Step 1, fight him. Step 2, don't die. Step 3, profit.
So, you mentioned a prophecy. Was there a solution in said prophecy, or just the doom and gloom of the prophecy?
Mostly the doom and gloom from what I know of it. I'm gonna try to recall
Make an
what I
intelligence
know.
check. Sure, I'm pulling it up right now, just in case. You roll high.
I'm pretty intelligent,
Yeah, that's true.
in character at least. Geez. What is it? Flat intelligence?
Yep.
15.
15. You've heard it a couple times, and so you remember the first couple paragraphs.
Okay.
You remember. And which prophecy are you talking about? There's 2 that you've heard at this point. From sisters, actually.
The one that I am more familiar with, which would have been,
I wouldn't have heard the first one.
yeah,
Okay, so the second one.
the second one.
So you remember this is a prophecy from somebody called Masildar Waith, a drow who lives somewhere within the Azure Spire in the Underdark. The Amethyst Spire in the Underdark. This is something called the Prophecy of Granmashon, and it was first spoken in 1266 TA, so like roughly 200 years ago, a little less. When twilight begins to run red, and the banner turns to ash, when azure light rises above your head, and the dead find their speaker at last, when the earth returns to the skies, and when many minds become one, when the tears of our people return to their eyes, Granmashon has begun. You forget the other
So
syllable.
I forget the rest, but
And you know what? You feel almost like that last syllable probably would have had some answers for you.
yeah,
Or that last stanza.
yeah. But so that's what I know.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're gonna go and try to deal with Zystris, which will also hopefully, I think, help stop Azra, who we will probably end up eventually having to deal with if we survive this initial dealing with of
I'm
Zystris.
not going to slow her because the ninth path is already in Calypsos.
Right. Ninth Path is the monk group that Shay is not a part of because there was a schism.
Those are the ones.
I think Shay should probably tell you about it. It might be a bit of a sore subject.
Okay.
There-
Yes, the same.
was a bit of a rift
I'm gonna
in
just
our order.
thanks.
And it ended with a large denomination of them. Traveling to Calypso's after. Yes.
So Calypso's being the other plane, if I'm following.
Calypsos is a subplane, right?
From what you guys have heard, Calypso's. I know you guys read the book about it. So
Right.
Calypso's is a demiplane
A
that was
demiplane,
designed as a
yes.
prison for Azra, created in between both time and place. It
But-
is a demiplane hidden in the folds of reality itself.
Yes. So it is not quite a plane, but a plane specifically used to guard the world from Azra returning, but also now the seat of her power that is growing because of Thystris and the Ninth Path. So that's pretty much everything. We both have our own reasons for doing this, other than obviously the fact that if no one does, then the world as we know it again will probably be no more. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. If you are planning on joining with us on that.
So the whole plan is background information.
So I should have probably realized that being able to fly a ship would probably lead into something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this here is like a pretty new thing as well. So, you know.
You just tell like Eleanor's having like a lot to process right now. Just like
The plan so far is to go to the temple that was discovered.
So
Or
this
the
temple
merge.
apparently rose from beneath the sand. Something like you
About
guys were
a
in the
month and a
one-shot.
half ago.
About a month and a half ago.
About a month and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
and
some information that it seemed, I think the tomb of Zystris
rose from the sand.
rose from the sands within the Kua-Tar Badlands. Also, undead have been rising up from below the gated marsh, which may have something to do with Zystris as well, given that, you know, undead. But can't confirm, probably. In any event, bad things.
so. What are the chances that Zystris is going to be exactly where we're walking towards?
It's possible.
Then we will destroy
Potentially
him.
likely. I like the attitude. Thanks. That's really reassuring.
Wait. All right. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I can use a sword
Okay.
very
Cool.
well.
Great.
I generally am more of a talker
Okay.
than a killer of liches. I will do my. I obviously am going to go on this because, you know, at this point, I'm here. I'm here.
Yep. That's how I feel every day.
As you say, I'm gonna go with it. I heartedly slap your back.
That is the spirit. The Green Matron blesses you.
I thank you.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna need all the help we can get. So.
With
Thanks,
the luck
Screen
of her
Matron.
by her side, fortune will smile upon us.
Got this fucking tree. Trees hate me the most.
Okay.
Trees don't hate me
So-
anymore
Let's.
as much.
I don't think my character even knows what happened there.
Probably not. Hopefully not.
I'm just gonna fly the ship for now
Okay.
and try to process
So yeah.
exactly what's happening here. I should have bought more things. Really, no one wanted anything from town? Going after a lich?
I mean, I've sort of exhausted all of my resources as far as I know. Doing the best we can with the cards that we've been dealt. So one other tiny little thing. You know how I said we had reasons for doing this beyond, the general not wanting the world to end thing? So I'll tell you, Shay,
You have a terrible habit of hesitating, Akka, when you have something important to say.
okay, so I have a personal attachment to Zystris, as far as I know, that may be...
Takes another swing. Alcohol.
We dated in college. And
Maybe detrimental to the, I guess, mission of destroying Zystris, i.e., how you're not very familiar with magic or arcane or any sort of otherworldly is.
I've seen it used.
Okay, so Crib Notes version. So
Akka's cursed.
yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Cursed.
Yeah, it's, I think, well, I know it's got something to do with Zystris, and will be a bad thing, probably. So, dealing with that too, and hopefully
He has
we...
a phylactery attached to his arm.
Do we know what a phylactery is?
make a straight intelligence check. It's a pretty tough DC.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a no because it's a 7.
No, definitely not. Never heard
All
of
right.
it.
Phylactery.
Yes.
Sounds not great.
So liches,
Uh-huh.
in order to exist beyond their natural mortal life, will imbue certain things with the essence of their being, essentially. As you know, I'm not super familiar. I didn't study necromancy,
Well, that's good.
but from what I know, from what I've read, it's kind of like they're the thing that will keep them existing despite their physical form being destroyed or no longer, sort of like can transfer and continue to exist beyond, as long as that stays, the phylactery stays.
So, you are?
Not necessarily. No, maybe not. I hope not. But it might very well is possibly physically attached to me.
And as he holds up his hand, you see
Well, I have the armor, so it's just
Okay,
the
gotcha.
part that would be open on
Yeah.
the palm.
So you can just see the palm blackened, twisted, and strangely kind of shimmering. There is something to it that does remind you in ways of that armor. Not an exact similar thing, but this stuff, in a way, intelligent on its own accord.
As I sensed your aura of the weeping willow, this must be the wind you stand against.
I guess, yeah. I'm not super into using metaphors for things too often, but I guess that's pretty apt. So, sure. If that's how you want to interpret these events, then that's fine. Okay. Thanks for joining. I think you're on board. Yeah.
Then I stand with you.
Great. Thank you very much, Oakfeld.
To be blunt, it's not like I'm going anywhere else. So.
So,
Just kinda,
yeah.
stares off into the horizon.
And in the horizon, with the moon overhead, almost full, now kind of beginning to wane, but you can see a fair amount. And after about a half an hour, you can see the jagged stone structures and, at this point, like fossilized wooden scaffolding here in the desert, like the moisture not really enough to cause rot. So here, like bleached bone white scaffolding around a dig site. This is the Coitart Dig. And below you, as you kind of pass over it for the first time, you could see it drops down into the earth maybe 80 feet. And then you see cleared away much of this kind of sand. These large, maybe 12 feet tall, steel doors. They stand ajar.
Is this the dig?
This is the dig.
As far as we know.
I guess this is it.
So I guess we should settle somewhere around here for the night before we continue on.
Is there a good place to land?
Are we tired at this point?
You guys are kind of creeping towards it. You're in a weird cycle. Technically, you're not going to be like tired till about 4 or 5 in the morning. Well, that's not true. For Matt, it's going to be like right around like
A little after that, right?
yeah, like probably around 7 or 8 in the morning. You guys are kind of disjointed now.
Right, because
But,
I stayed
you
to
could sleep.
fly the ship. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we could keep going. I don't know how far into the dig we were gonna.
Do you
Is
have
that the?
a connection here? Are we meeting someone? Are we just wandering in?
We knew maybe someone who could get us through the Kua-Tar Badlands, but Shay, do you have
Remember
that
this-
information about him? Because I think that was a Heinrich thing.
Yeah. So Heinrich did know people who could get you through the Coitart Badlands. He knew Uriel's Watch,
Well,
whose leader is currently within the warp. You also heard
I
of
was talking
somebody
about the
named
one from the candy factory. Yes, Arrow.
who you guys never located.
Okay. So we did, but now I don't know. Maybe Shay could get in touch with Uriel's Watch, but I never really got the.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah, people don't like me.
Less that, more that
Oh.
there was once more information, and now
Oh
There's
yeah.
less.
Yes. There's also just a lot of information. Understandably, if you need a minute, take your time. It took me a while, still does.
So for the dig, right? So we're
Yes.
outside of the dig.
Yeah.
And I assume that flying over the dig would probably be not a great plan at night. But you have no idea what's going on within it.
I mean, I probably wouldn't do it personally, but call
I'm
me
going to-
superstitious.
I'm gonna land the ship.
go
I think
for it.
Eleanor's making the executive decision of I no longer wish to be flying this ship right now. It's a 10.
Okay.
I'm rolling terribly for flying.
I mean, it's not super hard. You do
It's the
drag
liquor.
along the sand a little bit, and luckily you are in sand, not against something a little bit firmer. But you come in, kind of jolts all of you a little bit, and you have to catch yourselves. But you to a stop. In front of you, maybe a good 30 feet away, you see this dig dropping down an entirety of 80 feet at its widest point near the surface, about 65 feet wide. Large dig, held open with white wood scaffolding all around. You see those doors at the bottom. You see a number of ropes and platforms at one point, although many of them hanging and broken. There are stairs, so you could like slowly kind of pick your way down. And that is what you see.
So, should we maybe stop here for the night? I'm feeling okay, but again, if you
So,
need some time, totally
from-
understand.
From here,
Mm-hmm.
we are going into the Badlands.
It's the plan. right now.
Through the dig?
Not necessarily.
I landed the ship. What is the next step after landing the ship?
Get to the tomb.
And we are doing that.
Honestly, I didn't really. It was, again, our former compatriots contact who had a way to guide us through the Badlands. I was not really focused on that part so much.
That's what we're going to do. I'm going to finish that bottle of rum.
Okay, that's
And
fair.
sleep.
Okay, that's fair.
You all figure out how we're not going to get killed tonight.
Okay,
While I do that.
that's also fair.
And then tomorrow, we will figure it out. So she kind of takes the bottle and like...
It's like half empty already at this
Yeah,
point now.
he just like goes into the hold and just kind of lies on the floor again.
Yeah,
Like,
it's only like 4 feet tall, so you have to
Yeah,
kind of scrunch
so-
down and then you lie down. Yeah.
Yep,
And you drink yourself to sleep.
pretty
Fair.
much.
Right. That went pretty well.
Yes, Aka.
I mean, as far
As-
as my days go, this has been a pretty good day.
That was a positive
For
conversation
giving
for
lots
you.
of bad news to lots of people. I got this. I'm gonna show the the Doc Ock pack.
So it is this contraption. There is a certain amount of elegance to it, and you can see, sorry, elements that Gamble would certainly be very interested in. The way that these mechanical limbs articulate and can kind of swap out different pieces, really cool. It's a little bit beyond you in terms of how it works, and not particularly interesting in terms of its functions for you, but it's cool.
So there, you know, pretty good day. I want to go check out the bottom of the dig.
Let's go.
Do a little scouting. You wanna Oakfeld? We're gonna go disembark for a bit, as I guess that's the nautical term, right? We're gonna disembark from this Skyship. If you want to join us, I don't know. Are trees good in the desert?
I'm going to kind of take a form, like mid-transform, not fully grow, but show myself as, I believe it's pronounced Sira, how do you pronounce this?
Saguaro.
Saguaro cactus.
Okay, sure.
I have many forms.
Okay. So that I'll take that as a yes. I'm gonna be like, all right. I'm flying down to the edge of the dig.
Sure. You kind of crunch down to the sand.
I'm gonna cautiously go, kind of look over the edge.
Make a
of the-
perception check.
What is
See
it?
what's going
Yeah,
on
same.
down there. That's cocked. That's 12?
12.
Yes. I rolled
this-
particularly bad.
From this distance and in the dark, even with the moonlight overhead, hard to make out too much. You see 28. You see broken scaffolding,
There you
and
go.
that's really with the kind of glowing pale white wood takes your attention away from most of the other things.
Okay.
Shay, you take this gold and red mask and kind of put it on, your human vision suddenly adjusting to the dark. And as you look, this is a place that is strangely familiar to you. And at first, it's hard. You can't really shake this sense of familiarity. You kind of get closer to the edge and really look down. With the eyesight that you have, there are elements to some of the decorative borders and things that you could swear that you've seen before. And then it hits you. You saw very similar architecture, although not necessarily the same group, but similar techniques used by the Duragar deep beneath the ground. Perhaps created by Duragar hands at some point. Aside from that, that's kind of all that you would see from this distance.
No movement or anything.
No, and I would say in a moment where the moon passes and the clouds clear completely, you get a pretty good look, and you're confident that it is, at least for the most part, abandoned. You hear desert insects and somewhere like far off, maybe something kind of skitter across the sand, small. Nothing big, nothing threatening.
How far down is it?
80 feet straight down. But, it's like, it kind of goes in like a bowl so you can walk around the sides. You're a monk. You can probably just jump.
Just jumping.
Yeah. So you see
Yeah,
Shay
float
kind of
down.
look for a moment and then just leap off.
I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna follow, but like
Sure.
second after, because I'm just like, so Shay, what are you? Oh,
The two of you drop down. Shay, you quickly, just touching down, the dust around you swirls. And there is
doing
for
the
like
Magneto float down.
yeah. So the dust swirls and kind of tosses up in the air just in time for you to get down. You get like a little bit in your face. But you land next to Shay.
I'm going to move over to the side, definitely across from where they are. How tall is this ship?
The ship probably about 16 feet tall.
Perfect. I can grow a maximum of 16 feet.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to grow more of a cactus.
Sure. So you kind of like dangle yourself over the edge, and then your legs. There's this kind of creaking and groaning sound, and they become these like dark green, elongating limbs, tiny little spines
Oh,
coming
you
out
look
from
like
all
that
over the place.
Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah, like the cactus Pokemon. Jesus.
As I do this, I kind of struggle.
Come on, Oakfeld, a little bit more.
As I try to force myself to go a little bit higher, but I just can't reach that limit anymore. It's like something's stopping me.
Yeah. And so almost like you have something on the tip of your tongue. You can almost do it. It just doesn't happen. But suddenly you feel the cactus-like appendage reach the sand, and then you kind of shrink, your body descending with the length of your limbs.
Like a slinky.
Very much like a slinky. A slinky made of cactus. And as you touch down on the ground, you are once more in your human form.
I used to be able to be much taller than this. Something is not right with me anymore. It must be part of my banishment.
We're not there.
I've missed all of Oakfeld's
Yeah,
backstory.
yeah.
I'm probably just saying this to myself.
Yeah, absolutely you are. So meanwhile, Shay, Akka, what are you guys doing at the bottom of this dig? The doors are open kind of in front of you, maybe 45 feet away.
Does it just look like an underground tunnel? Or the doors are
The doors
open,
are
so I
open.
can
Yeah.
see through, right?
What's your dark vision range?
What is my dark vision range? It's, I think, the normal dark
60.
vision range. But I
60?
have my
So if it's 60 feet, you can see kind of towards the end the beginnings of like the tops of buildings protruding from the sand inside this structure. You imagine parts of the structure, once they were exposed, kind of restored to keep more of the elements and sand out, but that was probably a long time ago. Within maybe sand coming in over time, maybe this is part of the dig that had not been undertaken yet, but you can see the tops of buildings protruding from the sand. From this distance, that's all you can really see.
I guess I would get closer to the doors cautiously, because it's probably kind of strange that
Okay.
they're open. They're like
Just peek.
big,
Okay.
big doors, right? Like
Yeah.
40 feet tall or so.
Like closer to like 16 feet tall. They're
Oh,
not
okay.
quite that tall. The space in the bottom is about 40
Oh,
feet wide.
that's 40 feet wide. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go towards the door cautiously to kind of get a better look at
Okay.
what this path would take us towards.
Shay and Akka, you guys approach.
I'm going to just follow a little bit, trying to catch up behind them.
Okay. You hear like the sound of like footsteps on stairs as Oakfeld is like going zigzagging downstairs. Like it's like a 55-foot drop and like much longer by doing this. So you have to like carefully pick your way over, and stop to look at a flower. You will make it there pretty quickly,
Mhm.
but it's going to take you a second.
I think while he's getting down, I'm probably just like, as we're walking, be like, so I dropped Glub off at the Antiquities Collective for now.
Interesting choice.
Well, you know, I didn't really sign up to be his babysitter.
No, none of us really did.
Well,
They were okay with his night terrors?
no.
There's a moment the whole time where you're like, I feel like I forgot something, but you're just kind of like, whatever. And then as Shay says this, you're like, shit. Right? He screams in his sleep all night.
Trey is gonna eat him. Oh no. And he's poisonous. Oh no. Trey is gonna kill me. Aga's just like,
You stand in the entrance of this dark space, a dig lost to time, all kinds of rumors about it, and Akka just suddenly just wilts in the doorway.
While Aka's having his existential moment.
Yeah.
we need to take
Make a
him
perception
back.
check. Not much closer.
So 29.
Oh, look, a little better. At this range, you can see much further into the structure itself. There are a number of rooftops, but one main structure that's been cleared away more than the others. At one point, maybe a tower. And there are elements that you can recognize very Duragar in nature. And with that check, you can see there has been a window kind of near what would be the top floor, but now about ground level, a little bit off, kind of tilted at an angle. A doorway, wooden, shut. With that check, you will also notice in the sand here there are footprints, kind of leading to, leading from, some dragging. Definitely not a long time ago.
I would point all this out to Aka if he's paying attention.
What? Sorry, I just forgot about the night terrors. Yeah, what'd you see?
Tower, footsteps.
Following the directions of Shay, you see the same thing. Top of some kind of a tower. There's like
Recent
a
footprints.
yeah.
Yeah. How far away till we get to like seeing the footprints? Are they starting like right near
Now that you've
us?
seen them, kind of tracking them out, you can see towards the mouth they kind of spread out and go in other directions, but so harder to see there. But as the space narrows, they definitely draw closer together, and they definitely approach
Any
that tower.
distinguishing marks of like the prints,
Make a nature check.
or like do these look like monk footprints? Could they be the ninth path? Nature. That's
Do they look human or humanoid?
They're in sand, and so
14.
they're vaguely humanoid-sized footsteps. Outside of that, tough to tell. You said 14? Probably an animal of some kind, or maybe a human. Hard to tell.
Someone's
are
been
animals.
here.
Sure.
Yeah. So, someone's been here pretty recently.
Seems so.
What would anyone else be doing out here?
Could be undead for all we know.
So, is this the way that we're gonna try to travel?
And you hear like a little trip and a stumble, and then Oakfeld suddenly is now at the bottom.
Unless you have a better plan.
I mean, the only other thought that I would have would be to fly up really, really high and then, survey until we find. Presumably, we can see the tomb now that it's risen. But do we want to, I don't know which one is the better element of surprise. I feel like there is no element of surprise.
best hope, I think, is to be quiet in our approach.
So, given our new captain's track record, flying might not be the quietest.
Arguably better than the last captain had.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't get drunk to the point of passing out without landing first.
And you weren't there for the time she crashed the ship.
Twice.
Stranded us.
Oh, well,
You missed that one.
knowing what I know of Morwen, that totally tracks with everything else. Okay, so not off the table to fly in, but
Not off the table, but it is kind of a large target, especially if we go in the daytime.
versus traveling underground, which is probably pretty heavily guarded. If it does, in fact, lead to the tomb. But if it doesn't, then we're underground in the Kua-Tar Badlands without knowing where the next opportunity to come up would be.
It's not any worse than the Cold Forge.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, okay. So, no strong feelings either way. Maybe we take it to a vote, ask the rest of the group now.
I probably get up close to them as he's saying, taking it to a vote.
Quick travelers you are. What are we speaking of?
We're just trying to figure out where to go next, given our options right now.
I was kind of hoping Akka would be like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about it on the ship," and then Akka and Shane will just go right back to the top. Oakfeld's
Hang on,
like,
we'll meet you
"Oh."
back up there. Yeah, so we're just gonna figure out how we're getting to where we need to be getting. But I guess we should wait for Eleanor to meet up with us. Well, do we want to go further? I feel like we should probably go
I feel
together.
Like we should go as a group wherever we're going.
Yeah, especially if we're going underground. You feeling tired yet? Feeling tired yet?
As this might be our last chance to rest for a while, I will take it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go back up because I feel like we shouldn't sleep right in front of this open doorway with footprints that are pretty fresh.
Of course not.
I can keep watch for a bit, and then I'll probably try to get some rest too. But
Akka just begins to fly up. What are the two of you doing?
Walking up the wall.
And then you see Shay just take a little bit of a back step and then run up the wall. You are again alone at the bottom of this place.
Probably like a tumbleweed just goes right by me.
Friends,
I look off around. I see no one's back.
oh, I guess I will.
And I'm gonna just gently just touch the soil and see if I can just pick up any ores or anything.
Sure. Oakfeld, make a wisdom saving throw, please. Or sorry, intelligence saving throw.
uh-oh. How far up are we at this point? Floating up
Well,
at a
let's see. What's your fight
leisurely-
speed when you have those?
35 feet.
35 feet?
Well,
Probably
not
you're probably up at the top at this point.
Oh, okay.
13.
13. Okay. You grab a little bit of this dirt, the soil, and kind of sift it through your hands. You watch the grains as they fall out. And then you feel just kind of a tug at your attention. From within the space, you can just kind of hear, almost in your mind, and almost like a thought. Oakfeld, come take your honor. And along the ground, you see, right at the edge of the door, a little vine grow from the dark.
Green Matron? Is that you calling forth?
You wait for a second, and you just hear, nature needs you.
I'm going to take a couple steps forward.
And you hear again this whisper, come, Oakfeld, regain your honor.
I'm going to take a couple more steps forward. I think I'm finally going to get close, put my hand right up into the door.
Okay. You hold your hand up. The door swings in open before you can even touch it.
Green Matron, I know in my dreams you have set me on a quest. Is this the place you believe for me to be?
Have I reached the top of the...
Yeah.
I feel like I would have turned and looked back just to make sure Oakfeld was coming.
Sure.
Or do I
You
see a
you
slight
turn
just,
and
like,
look,
floating
expecting like
slightly
a
ahead of Shay,
slightly
above the
frustrated
ground.
Oakfeld. But instead, what you see right at the edge of these doorways, you see the form of Oakfeld just step in and disappear into the shadows. Okay. You just turn around and jump off. You turn and look, and you see Shay, just the white kind of clothing.
So
just
Shay, are
disappear
you
over the
looking
edge.
for a place that's high up to sleep? Back down.
You all begin to descend back down. From the doorway,
Mhm.
you hear mighty trees are not felled without a reason. All nature is called. We need you. Come, Oakfeld.
And I just mutter to myself.
My redemption.
And I walk a couple more steps, my hand trailing on the wall as I walk. I'm going to cast, I believe the spell is called Guardian of Nature.
Okay, what does it do?
It gives me dark vision if I'm the primal beast
Okay.
with a
One
range
second.
of 120 feet.
Okay. So,
You
you
also get all that
shift.
Oh yeah,
too.
I get other shit too.
You're doing Primal Beast?
Yeah, I get walking speed plus 10
Okay.
and strength base attack rolls with advantage, and melee weapons deal an extra 1d6.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. As
Fun,
your
fun.
hand runs across the stone, kind of tracing along the patterns, you feel like fur grow out of your hands. And suddenly, you kind of get a little bit closer to the ground, a little bit more feral feeling. The shadows disappear, and you can see. You look down and into this tower. You can see there are stairs that kind of zigzag down, fairly clean within the space. They disappear down and down into the dark. You see sand here and there has like seeped in through cracks and through open windows, kind of piling around. The ceiling here, shorter than you would imagine, a little uncomfortable for you. And then again, you hear, "You're doing it, Oakfeld. Keep walking."
I would catch up with Oakfeld, hopefully.
Sure.
And I would be shortly behind.
Yeah.
Just a hand on his arm. Oakfeld, where are you going?
Green Matron, you...
No, buddy, it's Aka, Shay.
I'm gonna just do one of those, like, shake my head disbelief.
Uh,
I'm gonna touch my
Looking
head.
over at Shay like, what the fuck?
My apologies.
Hey, we said we weren't gonna go in to where there were fresh footprints. Did you miss that part?
Everything
okay?
the green matron, she was calling me.
Okay, cool. I am not familiar with the Green Matron,
Oh, well,
but she
she's
seems really nice.
the goddess of
So-
nature. She is everything to everyone. She's
You hear in the back of your mind, Oakfeld, this one is a destroyer of nature. Who would you trust? This being clad in metal? Or me?
And I'm going to say out loud,
but his aura of the weeping willow.
He will bring many tears to you and those you care about. He would burn the forest within the Feywild.
I'm probably standing there like, Oakfeld, hello? Right? Is he broken?
He doesn't know what he does. He is
There are
ignorant.
things in this place that can mess with your head.
He is but a child. Teach him. Bring him with
us.
you.
We'll check it out again once we've had some rest. Together, as a group.
Yeah, take a nap. You seem a little tired or something.
Oakfeld, come to me. Nature calls for you.
You two do not have the rings that I do. You have not have the experience to know when something is right.
Okay. I think, sure. Also, I think we can both agree that a good night's sleep is always right.
You hear in the back of your mind, he is afraid, Oakfeld. He is not as strong as you.
Why?
Am I what? Yeah?
Why do you wish to stop me?
Well, I mean, because,
Dangerous to go alone.
yeah, we should probably all go. You know, captain of the ship is asleep right now, and be kind of rude to leave her alone in the middle of the outskirts of the Kua-Tar Badlands, which again literally has bad in the name. So maybe like get a good night's sleep, start fresh tomorrow.
I trusted your aura before, but after you telling me about your arm and the matron tells me, perhaps I should not.
I
Judge.
apologized to the trees when I was in the Feywild already. I am sorry about the trees. I did not realize. I am sorry. Again.
Apologize for what?
It was an accident, okay?
Can we have this conversation out in
Akka,
the hallway?
make a intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh no. Brendan and I are just on the ship, just chilling.
Yeah. They probably both asleep. You passed out, but
Yeah,
she's definitely
I'm
asleep.
done.
Haha. Intelligence saving throw?
Mhm.
29.
As Oakfeld looks at you and kind of starts to like ask you these questions, the gaze is penetrating. And you feel almost like when Oakfeld looks at you, he talks about having all these rings, but there is an age to those eyes beyond anything you've seen from Oakfeld for just a moment. And you feel this gaze truly penetrating, as if fingers rifling through the files in the library of your brain. But you shake it away.
So do we want to go back up to the ship?
We want to go further. The matron
In
calls
a couple
us.
hours after a nappy. Nappy poo? Asleep?
If you were not with the matron and walking the narrow path,
But
and I will walk the narrow path alone.
well, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to just take a nap, and then we'll go together down the path. Shay loves the path.
What did you say about the Fae?
Well,
the accident.
that's where we were before you were there. When we were there for a week, but it was a day for us, and now we're a week behind schedule for all of the things.
What happened?
Can we please have this conversation back on the ship?
Yes, let's go back to the ship, and then I'll tell you all about it. How's
Why are
that?
you trying to distract me from the Green Matron's...
I'm not trying to stop you from the Green Matron. Me and the Green Matron, we patched things up. We are fine. Everything is okay. I just think that you could use some sleep because you're starting to seem a bit grumpy.
What happened in the Fae?
I made a mistake, and I rectified that mistake by,
What was the mistake?
it was an accidental accident involving a tree. That was a total accident, and I apologized, and I did a good service for the trees.
What sort of accident?
The details are not super important.
They're
I was not the
important
only
to
one
me.
to blame. Also, our compatriot who is no longer here, also accidentally did a bad thing. Well, necessary, but not the most.
Oakfeld, in the back of your mind, you hear, "You've seen the corruption, Oakfeld. You know there's not much time. A few hours is all that could stand between us and the rot."
Did you hurt the grove?
No. The grove was hurt, and so to make up for my teensy little accident, I helped get rid of the hurt in the grove and planted a seed for trees because I love trees and I did not mean to hurt trees in any way. So let's go to the ship and get a nappy, and then we can continue as friends of the Green Matron. Yay.
Hurt trees?
No. That's you didn't listen to the good part of it, which is that I helped fix a tree by giving it new life.
I knew when I came to this group, those who wield the metal instruments of my people's demises should not be fully trusted, but I held my prejudices. But I cannot trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
You
gonna
hear again, like as you move your hand, you hear again,
Yeah, well,
"Oakfeld,
get
he
in
does
line,
not know.
buddy.
He is young and ignorant. He has fallen from honor as you have. Help him regain his honor. Bring him to me."
So, again, really sorry for any of the things that I have done to trees to make you upset. Can we go to bed up at the ship and not in front of this door?
I'm going to push him aside.
Oh, Shay, I don't know what to do in this situation. Do we go get the captain and do we take him back physically?
Go see if you can wake the captain and Brenna.
All right. Hang tight, buddy. We're gonna, I guess, start moving down this tunnel. Yeah, I guess I vote tunnel. You vote tunnel. You're obviously voting tunnel. So 3-2 at the least. Okay, I'm gonna go get the captain and Brenna. Flying up.
Great. Captain,
Yep.
you are very drunk.
I am very drunk.
You're passed out. You are snoring aboard the ship. Go ahead and make an intelligence saving throw at disadvantage, please.
13.
Okay. In this drunken stupor, your dreams wild, disconnected, you feel as if somebody's watching your dreams. And then they go from this wild chaos to this white room. You can see the floor, the walls, the ceiling. You've never been here before. There's nothing else. But in the back of your mind, you feel as if somebody is looking through your memories. Shay, make an intelligence saving throw, please. Aka, you return to the ship.
Hey, Captain Brenna. Hello. Sorry to wake you.
25.
Okay, go.
I'm getting under the deck, just poking my head down.
Okay.
So I know we said that you could take some time, so Oakfeld's acting really weird and adamantly refusing to not come back up to go to sleep, and he is pressing forward into the tunnel without us being able to really stop him. So
From like where you are, you hear like this. You hear it. You can like little bits of it, but you don't know where it's coming from. Somewhere outside of this room.
Dream is gonna start like pressing on the walls and be like,
are you okay? Can you stand?
In your dreams, you feel that sensation stop.
Does
Through your
Brenna
mind.
wake up?
Brenna?
Yeah.
Oh, Brenna's awake. Yeah.
Hey Brenna, we're gonna. You good to go?
Where are we going?
Down to the bottom of the hole, the dig. We gotta.
We're getting started now?
I guess Oakfeld won't stop.
Oh, okay. And she kind of grabs this huge axe and like, puts it over her shoulder.
Okay. Captain, do you need some water or something?
As you begin to touch these walls, you hear in the back of your mind. You hear that. But then suddenly the sensation of something kind of creeping through your thoughts stops. And you hear, Eleanor, we haven't met yet. But I can see that there are things that you need and things that you fear. You're fearing the wrong things. You've seen what Aka does and how he plans. You're walking to your death. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And then suddenly the won't just becomes Aka's words.
And then so he was like talking about the Green Matron again. And now he pushed me aside and continued going through. Shay's down there trying to keep him from, going all the way in. But there were also footprints, and so there are other, which is why we were trying to come back up to the ship. So I know it's a lot, and I know that we had said that you could, sleep it off for a bit. But
oh,
can we at least try to get Oakfeld to come back so that, you can go back to sleep and we don't have to chase him down the tunnel? We were going to take it to a vote because tunnel doesn't seem like the best option at this point, but
you do realize I am blasted.
yeah, you can wait here, but we got to stop this guy.
How steady do I feel?
So you go to sit up and you forget that you're in the hold and just
Yeah.
bang your
Yeah.
head right on
watch
the
your
roof
head.
of it. Not very. And
Ooh.
even less so now.
I don't know
Okay,
if I can get to the bottom.
okay, maybe can you just guard the ship and we're going to try to get Oakfeld back, I guess? And yeah, sorry to wake you up.
I'm going to need several minutes.
Okay, take all the time you need. We'll be at the bottom when you can. And if you go in and it's, pretty far you don't see us, just, wait till we come back. We'll come back once we get Oakfeld.
Right.
Okay. Come on, Brenna.
And he goes, oh, and he starts running behind you holding the axe. As Akka runs away, you can just hear these echoes in the back of your mind. You've seen them plan. Oakfeld, for a period of time after Akka goes up, there's a brief moment where suddenly you feel the Green Matron's presence fade. And you feel again alone.
Oakfeld, it would be smart to wait for the whole group. We can pursue the Green Matron together.
She does believe that the strongest voice is the voice together, but I don't know how you travel with that.
I try not to think about it, but
What he said he did to trees.
he really didn't mean it.
How can I trust you?
I was there when he made his apology. It was sincere and it was accepted by Azalea.
Make a quick history check. That name probably means something to you.
Azalea?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. 19 plus 5, I think, is my history. Yeah, 5.
Okay. So, Azalea is an Eladrin. An Eladrin, formerly of the Winter Court. An enemy to the people that you would kind of call yourself from. You would be maybe not belonging to the Spring Court, but very much adjacent to that group. The Winter Court, for an oak especially, sort of a negative connotation. That being said, Azalea left the Winter Court. There are those that say in exile, and those are those who say that it was a choice. Either banished or through self kind of exile, went to a place tangentially on the material plane called the Frostline, where he now makes his sort of small kingdom. Small for the Feywild.
Still pretty big.
Very powerful when he was a member of the White Court, or the Winter Court.
How do you know that name? Did you
We
meet?
met.
You can see, like, my face is visibly working.
I think I would have had Brenna hop on my back
Sure.
to get down to the bottom.
So you see kind of at the very
Backpack.
back through like the top of the doorway, suddenly like the boots of Akka and then the fluttering cloak and then Brenna's little feet and then you guys touch down.
I know Aga can be a lot,
I'm right here.
but he does have a good heart.
I'm trying my best here. I mean, can we just go, just take a nap? It's fine. The captain is pretty drunk. It would be really, she couldn't, she stood up and hit her head. It was pretty funny. You like humor, Oakfeld?
Do not touch me
Didn't,
with your elbow.
I didn't, okay, well, maybe we sleep on it and you'll feel better tomorrow?
Either we all go together in the blessing of the Green Matron,
Great.
or I seek out her alone tonight.
So how about the first choice? And we go back and we'll come down tomorrow. Like in a couple hours. It's
Oakville,
not
make an
even-
intelligence saving throw.
5 plus 0.
I love Oakville.
He's not a smart guy.
You kind of turn and suddenly from the sand, these little night blooming jasmine blossoms open up along the ground, creating a perfect path to the door and then in and beyond to the tower.
I'm going to keep stepping forward.
There you go. None of the rest of you see these flowers.
Oakville, please. There are things here that sound pleasant. They speak to all of your hopes and dreams. They are not real.
The purple flower, the iris, that is
It's
the
not
matron's signature.
Only you can see it.
we're in a desert. There's only like 5 or 6 types of plants that I know of that would survive in this area.
Do all things, and through the great matron, all things will be possible.
Like taking a nap and coming back tomorrow?
I'm going to touch this purple iris plant.
You go down, and as you touch it, it feels real enough. You feel the blossom, and then you hear in the back of your mind, "Come, Oakfeld, do not let us wither." And the flower into sand.
I'm going to keep walking forward.
You step past the darkness again, and now within the structure, you approach this tower. What are the rest of you doing?
Are we going hands on?
Ellen was probably like desperately like grabbing like the side of the ship, like steady, steady.
And finally, Eleanor stands.
Doesn't hit her head this time.
I made it out of the hold.
You have like
Like,
both
up at the
elbows
top
out.
of
You're
the
still
stairs,
working on it.
like,
You're like, I don't know about this.
Made it.
Ooh.
Are we
And
back
then
on
you
the
look
ocean?
and you're 20 feet, big pit.
Yeah. This is a
Almost
safe
there.
trip.
I also
Almost there.
can't see in the dark.
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
no manner
yeah.
of dark vision. I'm a regular
Oh,
human.
yeah.
I'm like maybe trying to figure out how to make the torch go at this point.
In the hold of the ship.
It's like,
Pretty much.
oh no. I feel like we gotta go hands on then.
Oakfeld, you
Do we-
reach the door. You can see these flowers kind of go from the floor up onto the wall and then wrap around, going down and down and down.
It's just like, is he going through? He's already gone through the door.
He's standing in the doorway.
Yeah,
right?
not the
I'm
door.
gonna like try to
Think.
get kind of in front of him
Is
and
this
be
a place
like,
that the Green Matron would
so.
I do
Classic,
not
block the
need-
door. Yeah.
I do not need to think. I need to believe.
If this is something you must do, then I will go with you.
So wait, we're gonna go, but the
You
captain's.
don't have to.
Well, but we shouldn't. You shouldn't go alone. I mean, alone.
Bretta looks a little concerned, and at this point she pipes up. She's going to go, "Guys, last time that I split up with my group, years passed, and one of them died. So I think we should
yeah.
probably stay together."
That's what I would also vote for, but it seems like now the deciding vote is drunk up at the top of the hole that we're in, literally and
finally- there's a-
figuratively.
Eleanor, you finally like pull yourself up onto the deck. You kind of like hold onto the railing. You look down, your vision swims. All you can do is just like hold the vomit in. Many years at sea, kind of preparing you for this. It's rough. It's looking pretty rough.
So without the deciding vote, I think we have to, out of respect for the democratic process, abstain from moving forward until all the votes have been counted.
Somehow, I don't think he's going to listen to you.
Okay, well, I told
Oakfeld, are you still
she'll be
walking?
fine.
I'm slowly walking. My hand is like following the vines. Each flower petal, I kind of just.
Kind of doing the like follow in front to
Yeah, you're
try to
trying to, like,
redirect. I'm trying to redirect them.
I trust me. I did that for 6 years.
Yeah.
Oakfeld, you continue to walk, and as you step down, you probably get the last 2 staircases. It's like 10 feet down each one. You reach the bottom of this kind of tower-like structure. You see there are stairs, but they're full of sand. This is like the end of this structure.
Mhm.
The window is open, and through it you can see darkness, large cavern. You can't see the floor from this vantage point, but you see the flowers disappear into this hole. And step a little bit forward and looking down, there's maybe like a 10-foot drop, and then you see cavern floor below. It stretches out. Your dark vision's 120 feet,
Mhm.
about 80 feet, and you see on the far end within this underdark space, relatively even floors, and then you see there is a doorway. You've just recently been in Yorn, and so you know sized for a giant. Not as intricate, not with these beautiful sweeping cloud patterns. This doorway seems as if it's made from some kind of a metal, but it's not quite reflective. It's hard to tell. You would need to get a little closer to be able to tell.
I'm gonna make my way towards like the lowest part, just casually walking, holding the walls, going along the edges, down the stairs until I can get to the lowest part of the stairs.
Sure.
How long are we gonna let him do this, Shay?
Do you remember what he became in the last battle? I don't think we can stop him.
I mean,
Have killed a couple trees.
I'm like still following, but like, can I? Is there a way I can stop this dude if he turns into
Make
a
an
giant
dexterity
fucking
saving throw.
tree?
I'm so excited to fall off the ship.
Oh. All right. If I had to,
Aw, damn.
I could cast a hypnotic
It's
pattern
19.
on him.
Okay. So you kind of stand at the end. As soon as the world stops swimming for you, Eleanor, back aboard the top of the ship, you go and just like take a step off the side. As you fall forwards, a piece of rope kind of catches your foot and you swing like 10 feet towards the front of the prow. You swing back as like the rope unties and it just kind of drops you down on the ground. You like roll over twice and then just kind of come to a stop. There's like this and then you just hold it down. But you're now off the ship.
Nice. Okay.
Oakfeld. This doorway, about 25 feet tall, and as you get a little bit closer, this gray stone has been painted to look like metal. Painstaking detail to match gray shades of paint to make it appear as if it's reflecting light. Beautiful, beautiful artistry. This appears to be a space not attached to these structures. Perhaps over the years, as the structure crumbled more and more into the sand, it is intersected with something else here. And you remember now, oh, no, you weren't there for that. And that's the thing. It's the thing that you see.
I'm going to try to just look at the art on the structure.
Mhm.
Can I do a perception check to
Sure.
try to make out a little bit better what the art looks like?
Yeah.
What is that, a 6 or a 9? 9. Plus 8.
Okay, not bad. With your dark vision especially, you look up, and the 10 feet above the doorway, before it meets with the cavern wall above, and the roof, now that you look at it, a lot more natural. That's like rough hewn. But there's a mural. A treatment that makes the stone almost shades of like an opaque white gray as if sanded above. And this work must be ancient, very badly faded, certainly done by giant hands. You can see there's a faintly painted red line that rings around the double doors by about 10 feet, indicating something, probably. Almost hard to see because there's like elements of sand covering most of it, but you see in this light little bits of a red line. Makes like a semicircle around the door. The mural itself, exquisite detail, certainly to scale. It depicts a giant being with an elongated head wearing furs. The right hand is held up with a single finger held to their mouth, and the left hand emerges by about 3 feet from the mural, stretching out over the floor, and holds out between giant forefinger and thumb a fist-sized ruby, roughly 25 feet off the ground. You said that was what? That was an 18?
9 plus
7, so 16?
7, yeah.
That ruby is faceted and cut. It's certainly been worked, and it resembles almost like the eye of a insect in its faceting, like a James Webb's telescope cut gem, you know. That's what you would see.
I'm going to turn to Shay.
I believe in redemption. Though you may lead with unworthy,
And I'm going to look at Akka.
I believe your path can be redeemed. Hop on my shoulder, and I will transform and land on the bottom of this floor, and we will find the matron's true calling.
Do I see the gem?
Yes. So looking up with Oakfeld pointing, you see this fist-sized ruby held between the thumb and the forefinger of a giant creature. That is in the left hand.
Yeah. Left hand, the other one's doing this, right?
Yep.
Does it... I'm gonna fly up to get a closer look.
Okay.
Not touching it, obviously. But I want to see, is it something that's, like, emitting any sort of magical
Make an Arcana check.
properties? Perhaps something that could be drawing Oakfeld towards it. Arcana check?
Yeah.
Oh, my bread and butter. 28.
Well, not artificing magic, but there are similar artificing things that you can do that would have a similar effect. And so you recognize elements of this as you draw a little bit closer. In this beautiful ruby, there are etched symbols that hurt to look at. And so you can't really discern exactly what they are, but it certainly has a sense of evocation magic. And from that, you would imagine certainly a dangerous gem. You kind of land, and Oakfeld, do you tell them about the red mark on the floor?
Probably not to Akka, but to Shay, I'd probably describe what we're going to be going down to. And I'd do that.
And these are the things that we'll be experiencing. The Green Matron wants us to experience if you climb on my shoulder and we descend.
What does that sound like to me, his describing of it?
What is it that you're describing the mural?
Yeah, the mural and like the red line and all the things you just said.
Make a history check. Alana. Eleanor gets to the edge of this huge pit. And as you do, it's one of those things where your whole vision telescopes way down. It looks like thousands of feet. And you almost throw up. But you steel yourself. You like pull out the bottle. It's empty. You're like, shit. On the ground, and you just start walking down the stairs. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Uh-oh.
It's a 19.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a natural one,
Okay.
but because of it, dexterity is the saving throw that I have
Proficiency in?
proficiency in. Yeah.
Or expertise, which one?
It's,
Oh, no, sorry, it's proficiency. Expertise is skill, sorry.
Yeah, it would just be proficiency. So revival talent still technically works.
Yeah.
So I probably don't kill myself trying to go down these stairs. It's probably
What is, it's an 11?
so. No, in total it'll be a 19.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It would be a base 10 plus 9.
You take the first step, and your foot hits one of the wooden stairs, snaps. You begin to tumble, and as you do, your elbow like hooks into the railing, and you end up just sliding your butt like boom, 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 boom down each step. But at least keeping yourself relatively upright, and then you pop up to 2 feet, like kind of pinwheeling your arms. You get over to a railing. You go to catch yourself, and the railing snaps. You like fall another 3 or 4 feet off, like to this ledge. There's what was like an old maybe crane or lifting thing with like a string that's dangling down. You grab that, and it goes top and snaps, and you drop 2 more feet just to the ground. And as your vision swims, you see the darkness of the door like 20 feet off to your right.
I'm just like, okay, did I bring the torch?
No. So I would say you definitely brought your weapon, but most of
Yeah.
your inventory back on the ship.
It's pitch black in there, right?
Yeah,
I can't see shit.
nothing. You see about 5 feet in, and then that's where the shadows consume the light.
I'm gonna be like, okay, Shay, Aka,
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Oakfeld,
At disadvantage,
someone.
as you're quite drunk.
4.
Okay. You hear Akka go, it seems a little out of breath, and you just hear him say, "Come on, hurry up, we're going down." And then you hear footsteps.
I'm gonna hope that I'm not making it back to the ship. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I
you
barely
turn
made
back
it
and you're like,
down.
"Oh."
So I'm just gonna try to like go towards the door, and when I get there, see if there's like wall I can hang on to, and just keep calling out for people,
Okay.
hoping someone will hear me in this darkness.
Yeah. You get to the door, and you call out, "Shay, Shay, Shay, Akka, Akka, Akka." Nothing. You kind of begin to trace to the right, and then you hear Akka's voice. "Just follow the sound of my voice. Come on, hurry up." You kind of turn, and you feel very confident that you know where it is. You begin to move towards it. And suddenly you kind of, your foot catches something, you stop, you put your hands out. There are like stone steps in front of you.
Okay, I do have one quick question.
Sure.
So I have blind sense or something that would be invisible near me.
Sure.
So as long as I could hear it, do I get the sense that, like, would I get the sense of Akka actually being near me, or is it,
License 30 feet?
I think it's actually only within 10 feet of me.
Then certainly not.
Then certainly not. Okay, so I'll just
But
like.
the voice sounds like it's further away than that.
Okay. So I'll be like, okay, does someone have a light? A lantern? And as I like slowly like try to feel
Yeah.
a torch.
I'm not actually hearing this, right?
No.
Okay.
You're well done.
Okay, because I would
Um,
give you a light, if
yeah.
but it's not me.
You don't hear anything, but you continue to make your way up the stairs, and then suddenly there's the sense that it opens up beneath you. You carefully put a hand out, almost falling over, but kind of turning and dropping to like way, way down, you touch floor. Pitch black. You're drunk in the dark. It's a little chilly down here.
I'm like regretting everything right now. I'm so far away from the ship. I'm far away from everyone else apparently. I'm in the dank, dark, and I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and kind of like,
Think about your life choices.
yeah, exactly. And
It's like
I
you
probably
made it to the
will
bottom of the
eventually-
staircase, and you're like, oh my god, I'm fucking beat.
yeah, I'll probably eventually just start keep going down, because at least then I'd be near people, because like I fell down here.
Yeah.
I'm not walking back up.
No, certainly not. Yeah. So, you slowly begin to kind of like go back. Oh, like every now and then just be like, Akka? Torch? And you're just like kind of trying to make your way down. For the rest of you, are you descending with Oakfeld?
That was a 19.
19. So, hearing the description of those creatures, that matches that elongated head with stone giants. Same thing with like that simple fur garb. They they are known primarily by the crafters of the guild. There are techniques that were studied from them. Specifically from, well, the most famous one is Wogra, which is a artist of the first age.
Oh, I know Wolgrith.
You would probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do, actually.
Yeah, I've got the notes
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
However, one of the things that's interesting about the stone giants, they typically live in the upper levels of the Underdark, called the Upper Dark. And they were, when they were still more populous, great artisans. And in the Underdark, there are places where they keep private little galleries and things like that, and you've heard of murals over top of those. Typically, stone giants, very rare. You've never seen one. You've never heard of one in your time. But those galleries were important to them, so probably pretty well guarded.
Oakfeld, I am honored by your extension, but redemption is not my path. I fear for you. I have heard of places like this that are terribly guarded. We're not at full strength. We are missing another of our party. If this is a danger place, we are not equipped to go forward now.
Floating back down. I agree.
I would urge you to reconsider and to come up with us until we are able to regroup and we can tackle this together.
Shay, pretty big, strong magic up above. Probably trap, if I were to guess. Just so you know. Hey, how you feeling? Feeling better? Great. So, still going down?
Shay, with your passive perception, you hear footsteps approaching. Weird. And they remind you of undead. You hear like this scrape of like a foot dragging, coming from the direction that you all came from. Eleanor, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Scrape, scrape. Tumble, 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 tumble.
Listen, I have another 19.
Another 19.
Nice.
You hear suddenly a rapid shuffle, as if somebody kind of slides down a few stairs, and then in the darkness this, and then you hear Eleanor kind of coughing, spitting a little sand out, and then Eleanor, you have rejoined the group, very drunk in the dark. Luckily, there's really only one path to take to this point.
I'm like clutching the wall. I am looking just straight. You get like I can't see anything, so I'm just kind of like looking.
Make a Constitution saving throw, actually.
I mean, if you have to throw up
12.
in the sand is a pretty good place.
You like fall on one knee into the door, like, pull yourself up, and you're like, and then you just throw up on the ground.
Are we all now aware of Eleanor's presence?
Yeah, very much. She's about 10 feet
Because
behind
we can
you.
all see in the dark.
Yeah, you guys can all see perfectly fine.
Oh, Captain!
I am like dirty.
Dirty,
Torn
like
up.
yeah, bloody, bruised. You can see like a little knot forming on the head.
home.
Does anyone have a torch?
I'm gonna use my tinkering.
Sure.
And use one of my ball bearings to
Dark
put a
frame?
light on.
Okay, you're gonna use light.
Yeah. Well, because with my the artificer's thaumaturgy thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I forget what it's called. Let me look it up. But yeah,
Suddenly,
that thing.
a little pebble of pure
My
light
magical tinkering. Yeah.
just lights up, and Aka passes you a tiny little stone that's almost like a migraine when you see it kind of through your drunken haze. But as you blink and look away, it does shed some light around you.
Welcome to here.
I see. Why couldn't this wait?
Oakfeld, make an intelligence
Because
saving throw, please.
Oakfeld is adamantly refusing to come back to go to bed and just do it in the morning. I
3.
tried. I told you. Didn't want to wake you up. Sorry.
Straight 3.
You hear in your mind suddenly this kind of presence reemerges, and Oakfeld, come, you are so close.
I'm going to point at Oakfeld and be like, Oakfeld, you're a cool guy. Can we not do this right now? Can I please go to bed?
The deciding vote has
And-
spoken.
I'm going to try to, in my drunken state, try to panache
Nash,
to
yeah.
charm him so he can go to bed.
Sure, make an insight check. And you know what, actually? Give me 1 second. So you feel this gentle, as you like see and hear this drunken speech come at you, you feel the green matron's touch gently on the side of your head. Go ahead and make this check at advantage.
First roll is a 9.
Okay.
Plus, what's my insight? 3. So 12. Second roll is a 13 plus 3, so 16.
Okay.
Is it disadvantage because I'm drunk as hell?
No, that was there's specifically
That
like intelligence and
enhances your
wisdom related
charm.
things. Charisma, yeah, I think it kind of balances out.
Natural 20.
Nice.
For a total of. So it would just be straight charisma check, or would it be for persuasion?
It's persuasion, because it's persuasion contested by insight, I believe.
35.
Wow.
That's my arcana.
Probably before this happens, I'm just replying to Shay.
What a pity. Redemption is a path for all.
Perhaps one day. But not yet for me.
Then redemption shall be.
And then
I am so drunk that we cannot do this right now. I cannot help you, and I will only be a problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go take a nap. We're gonna all just go take a nap, and then we can do this.
So, I think the naps have it. 3 to 2.
and does her panache.
Democracy rules.
Yeah, you're charmed by her. So like all of a sudden
Yeah, I feel it.
you
Makes
feel
perfect sense.
No, so the way it kind of works, and especially because it's a natural 20, that makes this
Yeah.
really easy. So with a natural 20, you turning on this panache, for you, it's incredibly charming. More, you look at this like this small human, and you know humans, like they kind of think they know what's going on, but not really. And she's so drunk, and it's just so dangerous for these like, you know, flesh creatures to do this. There's a part of you that's like, it would be almost unjust to lead her down this path. And what was the flower that you gave her?
The steel magnolia.
In this moment,
The white magnolia, not the
Yeah.
steel magnolia in the movie.
I kind of figured.
I give you this
DVD.
DVD. Extended edition.
So, you kind of look down at Eleanor's feet, and you can see suddenly this tiny bud emerge. Eleanor, something kind of squiggles at your feet, and as you turn, pushing through the stone, you see a single white magnolia. Following the gaze of this drunken woman, all of you see this white magnolia pushing through. And for you, Oakfeld, that is another sign from the Green Matron. And suddenly that presence in your head disappears. And there's a warm breeze, and you smell the spring. And you feel as if nature itself welcomes you for a moment into an embrace, as if to say, it's okay.
So 3 to 2. I think we're going to take a nap, and then we'll come back when we are all rested. Sound good? 1, 2. Shay, do you feel like changing your vote?
My
It
vote
doesn't matter
has
because
always been-
Brenna, you also voted to go back.
I'm gonna
Carry me upstairs, please.
I'm gonna look at Eleanor.
The matron. She has directed me to another path. At least for now. I will carry you.
Well, I was gonna actually, because you're gonna have to climb back up. I'll just fly you back up. Brenna, do you mind? Shay, you got Brenna. You're gonna come back for real?
Oakfeld, I will gladly go with you on this path when I am not completely smashed.
Fair enough.
I will follow the matron's words, and the matron has told me to follow this beautiful magnolia.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take this beautiful magnolia back to bed. So, Shay, can you make sure that Brenna and Oakfeld make it up safely? And I'll meet you up there.
Brenna kind of nods, just happy to help.
Cool, thanks. Yeah. don't keep going without us, okay? We'll do it in the morning. We just hop on, like taking, on the shoulders, just probably like the
very
classic
floppy
drunk,
as well.
classic
And
like
you smell vomit. and
classic
spiced
drunk
rum.
piggyback ride. Like, all right, let's go. And then I'm gonna like start flying back up to the top.
No problem. You do so.
In my mind, I'm kind of working some thoughts in my head. What does the Green Matron want me to do?
Yeah.
What was that voice? What did Akka say? Can he be trusted?
Most people ask that.
You all make your way back to the ship? Okay. With some of you finding your way more easily than others, you make your way back to the ship.
Get you back up, and I'm just like, all right, sorry, go to bed. Want some water? Here,
Is there
make sure you
anything that
drink the
guys
water.
want to do before you settle in for a long
I
rest?
am adamantly making sure that Captain Eleanor drinks at least 2 glasses of water before going back to sleep.
So at this point, I'm not
Take
even
out
just
the
like,
canteen, like fill the top
like-
of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drink
Drink
it
a little
down,
bit of
drink it
water.
all down. It'll make you feel better in the morning.
Like, she's like 10,000% done. So
Yeah.
anything that gets her closer to sleeping is great.
Yeah.
So,
I've been there, so this was like pretty much how Akka also began.
so you can all mark off a long rest. Akka, really quick before you do, make an intelligence saving throw.
Classic. Natural 20!
For just a moment before you fall asleep, you feel a shadow loom over the ship. Not just over you, as if something incredibly, impossibly large is just looking down upon you and waiting. And in the darkness, you feel a smile. But because it is 12:11, this is where we're going to end for the evening. So, thank you guys for hanging out with us for Adventures in Alberon session. Finally, you're in range for Zystrees to talk to you, which is great.
So good. I love that he can talk to all of us now, and not just me.
He can only talk to one person at a time, which is why Oakfeld has to keep remaking the check, because every time he talks to somebody else, he has to break
He has to
connection.
recheck.
I have no intelligence saving throws.
Yeah, I love this. This is so perfect.
It's supposed to be like that kind of like dumb knight, like
When I got
Steiner
your
from
character
Final
sheet a
Fantasy
couple weeks
IX.
ago, I was
Noble
like, I know
naivete.
exactly what's going to happen
Yeah.
with this. I was like so pumped for that. Anyways, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. We will be back next week. We'll be back next week?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So we'll be back next week. The next thing that you will see on this channel is Mosaic Team 5 next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following that, on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can tune in here to see Adventures in Alberon session 101. But until then, please stay safe. It is crazy out there. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Bye.